Hey kids, it's time to get some SML podcast all up in that.
Do you want to do Mulaka first or Riftstar?
I figure we do Mulaka first.
All right, then let me shuffle these around. You motherfucker.
We can do Riftstar if you want. I don't
Nope,
care.
I'm already moving this shit. Fuck off. Cole, are you here? Are you good?
I'm here. I'm just trying not to talk unless I have to.
Are you
I'm sick.
No.
Oh no! It's a good thing everybody else is here to pick up your slack.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Number 3 gave me strep throat.
Sweet.
That's
Oh, no.
love.
You better not pass it through the internet.
Achoo, motherfucker.
I'm keeping this part of the show. So what's up, everyone? This is the SML Podcast. I am your host, Joe. It is the reunion of our 5th anniversary episode.
True.
As everyone from that episode is back. Cole, you're here. How are you?
I am. I'm sick. I have the streps. Hurrah.
Yay. Kris Huber, you're here. How are you?
I am currently playing hardcore Diablo in the new season.
Shocking.
Yep.
Pernell Vaughan, you are here. How are you?
Burning too much time and not enough of it to use as kindling. So
Nice.
I like that.
Grant Stemage Henry, you are here. How are you?
I'm booptastic. Joe, thank you for asking.
And CJ Greenwood, because you love when I say your last name, you're here. How are you?
I've never had a problem with you saying my last name. I don't know.
Yes,
what
you
you're talking
have.
about. No, that
You
was that
are.
other guy that you referred to that had problems with it.
Yeah, sure.
Anyway, I'm awful because I work too much now.
Nice.
gotta make that money.
Bread. Gonna make
Got
that bread.
overtime for the first time this week.
Oh, look at you, the working man.
Sucks.
Call me the working man.
Are you
That's like
manager
an
yet?
extra bag of Cheetos.
No. I just do awful jobs and get paid way too little for it.
So like
let's see.
like most
Someone-
jobs.
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
Let's see. Dark Mika, you are going to be a mod because a lot of dickheads show up in the chat.
Now's your chance. Your
Yeah, pretty much.
opportunity.
Just fucking ban everyone.
Here comes the ban wave. Hi guys, it was nice knowing
Carnage
you.
is a goner.
Oh, God. He'll be gone immediately.
Good riddance, honestly.
Oh,
Savage.
Wait, which? I'm an idiot. Not Twitch. On
No,
the Beam,
on Mixer.
Mixer.
Yeah,
I don't even know anymore.
fun stuff there.
Beam? Why'd they change it from Beam?
Did
I like
everything blue screen? No, my shit's still working. It should still be working. It fucking better be working.
Dun, dun,
Oh.
dun.
Anyway,
the
last
stream is for mature audiences only. So what am I supposed to do?
Well, you're not in the audience. You're part of the crew.
I mean, I also want to be in the audience too. I want
I mean, you can't be both.
to. I have a
Why not?
wireless. I have a wireless on my guitar. I want to walk around in the crowd.
that would be awesome.
This is one of
Oh
those
man,
things you have to get your parents' permission to watch.
Yes.
Not only am I in the audience, but I'm also a client. I mean, a participant.
I'm trying to think.
I like
Pernell, were you at the Magfest where Prozacs rode on my shoulders during a guitar solo?
I don't think if I was, if it wasn't last year, I wasn't doing
Oh no,
much.
this was a long time ago.
Oh yeah, when I went to my MagFest time, I always spent more time staffing and Pokemoning than doing the shows and stuff. Unfortunately,
Yeah, Grant talking about walking around the crowd with for a guitar solo. Prozacs, he just came over to one of the speakers. I was standing there. He hopped on my shoulders, and I just walked around the crowd with him playing.
Love it.
So, Chris, next acoustic show you do.
Oh yeah. I'll get right on that.
Anyway, last time we were all here together, we discussed games that we were going to play during the month of February. I'll get back together and explain how we did with our progress. I'm going to start off because I have a fairly long story. My game was Lego Jurassic World. I haven't fucking touched it. The end.
Way to lead the
Podcast
charge,
over.
Joe.
Haven't touched it.
Wow.
I haven't.
What a great job. You're the one that comes up with these ideas.
I not only
Dude,
pinned it.
so here's the thing though. You have to realize that like this is so perfect, like, because this is exactly what we used to do.
Yeah.
Like, we'd be like, oh yeah, 4 for February. How many did you play? Well, I got
One.
to 1. Like,
So this is
no,
classic
this is part of the
SML.
forest. This is perfect. Like,
But yeah, not only did I add it to my pins on the Xbox, but I added it to my home, so it had its own
So you have to
dedicated
see it.
screen,
yeah.
and I didn't.
And you still
Touch it.
ignored it.
I didn't fucking touch it. I didn't touch it. I didn't even load up the title screen and idle in it to think maybe I'll get to it. Nothing. I didn't do shit. So,
It's so
who's next?
brain was trying to warn you away from it. Like, well,
Yeah, right.
So, who's
Fate had
next?
decided, you're like, I'm not playing this game.
Joe, if it makes you feel any better, I didn't play that Lego game either.
Nice.
I also did not play that Lego game.
I did not.
Awesome. Nobody? Wow.
if it makes you feel any better, I don't know what that Lego game is.
The Jurassic one?
Yeah, I guess the Jurassic one, the old one.
Oh, Jurassic. I thought he said Traffic. Fuck.
I'd play that.
I would play that.
Yeah.
Jurassic Park.
But yeah, who else? What were your games? I don't even remember what everyone's games were. Chris, weren't you going to do Odyssey?
No, I already finished Odyssey. Mine was
Breath of the
Zelda.
Wild. That's what it was.
Yeah. I finished a Divine Beast. Well, the last one that I had to do.
So you opened your game. That's progress compared to me.
No, I actually completed an entire Divine Beast. I did a bunch of shrine. Like I kept telling myself, I'm like, do I want to try and beat Ganon before the podcast and say that I actually beat this game? Because now that I started playing it again, I've just been going around and like farming in it because you can do that now. And just like doing like getting more shrines so I could have more health so that I'm not going to go in there and get completely fucking rocked. I got the Master Sword. So like I've made significant progress since we talked, but I have not technically completed it yet. But I think it's mainly just because I want to get the most out of that game that I can.
I almost feel like maybe for like the one person in the world who has not done much with Breath of the Wild, you should almost clarify that when you're saying farming, just because it's this game, you aren't referring to the actual practice of farming.
No. No. I mean by like just getting more items, like gaining rupees, like refilling arrows, like just a bunch of stuff.
One thing that makes me think though, looking back on your thought of beating the game in a month and having put more time to the game, do you now feel like that was almost a futile attempt to beat it in a month?
No, because I made even just as it only took me a couple weeks to get a real good solid gameplay for me to get to where I was before I put it down, which was already 3 Divine Beasts done. So I figured like, all right, I'll bang out a Divine Beast quick. You know, maybe I'll run around. I'll do a couple other things to prep myself to go in and try and initiate the final battle. But then like the more and more I started playing it, I was just like, you know what? Like, I don't want to rush it. Like, because I don't know. It's just that this is definitely my favorite Zelda to date.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Holy pickle butter.
It is.
I gotta agree on that. It's easily become my number one.
Yep, it's my number one. So I don't want to blow. And don't get me wrong, I know that there's DLC. Like, there's still going to be plenty of things to do when I'm done completing the storyline. But it was just like, you know what? Like, I want to make sure that I'm going in completely prepared. Because as I started to play it again, like, it can be very relentless. Like, getting into certain areas, like, you know, one hit from an enemy is chunking off like 8 hearts, 9 hearts. So I'm like, yeah, I can't even survive more than 2 hits from a lot of these guys. So I'm like, I should probably just go and get a bunch more shrines. I think I have 15 heart containers now.
Nice.
How many is that into the second line? Is that like 3 or something?
It's not. It's the full first line.
Okay.
Whoa.
Oh God.
Yeah.
That's a lot of health.
Yeah. Dude, but seriously, like, you go into these areas. I mean, Joe, I don't know, like, did you beat it or no?
No.
Dude,
did I beat a game? Are you fucking kidding me?
You didn't even have time to play Jurassic World.
But like, dude, like, it's crazy how much damage some of these fucking dudes do. Like, it's insane. Like, I just like I was in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, like by more like the Gerudo stuff. And there's some sort of like sandwormy kind of like boss that's just out in the middle of fucking nowhere that just pops out when you get to that area. And dude, like I would get hit from him once, and it had to be at least like 12 hearts.
Good lord.
Like 11 or 12 hearts. And I'm
Well,
like,
you gotta admit though, he's a giant worm. He has
Sure.
to do something. He gotta hit you.
sure, absolutely. But I was just like, dude, he like just one-shotted me, and I'm like, holy fuck.
Yeah, and
Like,
on the bright side, as soon as you get hit, you could pause it, eat 13 apples, and just finish flying through the air.
So
well,
many
I
apples.
mean, at least what does help is that I have like all of the divine beasts, like what are they? Their offerings, I guess, or blessings.
Mhm.
So like some of it, I was a little like you can kind of cheese it a little bit. I mean, there's plenty of people that have like just completely broken that game, which is another thing that I kind of like about it. Like
How broken it is.
yeah, honestly, because it kind of like. It's those types of things that you even find out on your own that you feel like you're cheating the game, but it's definitely there for a reason.
I mean, the speed run right now is like what, 50 minutes? I think.
Dude,
For
I think it's
Lord.
less than that. I think it's like 45. Like,
Wow.
Someone look it up. I'm scared to do anything on my computer right now.
I got it. I literally, I almost watched it the other day, but I didn't want to spoil it for myself because I'm like, no, I'm gonna.
No, don't watch it. I actually watched up to the point where I got to, and then stopped and went back later to.
And that
to
was
guys that wanted to
7
see
minutes
some of-
into the video.
Yeah, pretty much. I also I looked up on the like how long to beat.
39:35.
Holy
Wow.
shit.
I'm on the howlongtobeat.com site. I don't know if you guys have ever been there, but
Yeah.
there it says the story average for people is about 45 hours, and then standard main plus extras is about 90. I think I put about 100 in before I
Damn.
finished it. I don't know where you are. Do you know?
As far as gameplay, what like
how much time have you actually sunk into?
let me boot it up and see if I can find out because like where would I find it?
You could. Oh, are you on Switch?
Yeah.
Go to your profile, and then go to the top of your profile, and it will give you like length of time played on certain games. Because I think you could do it in a month if you mainlined it. You could do it in a month, but that's not how you should.
I have 45 hours on
Damn.
Zelda.
That's still pretty
Okay.
good.
Good.
That ain't no fucking around. But
It's 35 more than I got.
Pernell, what was the game that you picked for February? I don't remember.
I haven't. Honestly, neither do I, so I'm ad-libbing. I picked that contest.
He also did not play his game.
Wait a
Nice.
minute.
No.
I'm starting to feel a lot better about the progress that I made up by now.
It's not that I didn't play my game, it's that I don't remember what my game was.
I remember what it was. I remember it was
Iconoclast.
Nope. I can't remember. But I can't remember the name because I can barely say the full name. It was like oh crap. I'm gonna go pull this up while we're doing this. So I
No,
can
it
hear
was an
What do you mean the
RPG,
full
wasn't
name?
it?
It's an RPG. It was an RPG, I think, of some kind.
Didn't say
Yeah.
Yes, Shin
Shin Megami
What?
Tensei.
Shin Megami Tensei? Was it a Shin Megami Tensei game?
Oh, Shin Megami Tensei 4 Apocalypse?
That
yes.
must have been it.
Hmm.
That's
was
probably
probably
it. That's probably
Oh, okay, yeah. In that case, I played the heck out of that game. Yeah,
Nice.
because I have Final Dungeon Syndrome. I'm sure you've heard the type. I'm guessing you guys have not heard of it.
Well, it's same people with decision paralysis.
Yeah, it's along those lines. Yes, it's you do pretty much everything the game has to offer. Pretty much it's the opposite of what you were describing earlier with Zelda, whereas you want to do everything and then walk into the final dungeon. My version of it is you do everything and then you don't have the heart to walk into the final dungeon because
Oh wow. Okay.
like, well, I'll just stay in here. The world's just kind of in flux. Nothing's going to change. You know.
That makes me feel better that I'm not the only person that has that syndrome because I do that shit too.
Yeah,
I'm like, I don't want to go fuck with the boss now. I did everything. I'm good.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
9, Final Fantasy 10, Final Fantasy 12. Never beat any of them because the final dungeon is staring me in the face and it sucks.
And it sucks.
You gotta just go for it, man. You gotta bite the bullet and just be like, fuck this, I'm walking in, we're doing this, it's gonna happen.
That's honestly, I kind of felt that way when I played Doom,
Doom? Like, honestly,
the newest one.
the
Yeah,
new one. Okay,
Yeah, I haven't touched that one yet.
dude. Like, I didn't want that game to end. Like, it was beautiful.
rip and tear indeed.
So CJ, what did you touch? What was your game?
Mine was Saints Row the Third.
And
I am happy to say that unlike everybody but Chris so far, I have significantly accomplished my goal and actually completed the game.
Oh,
so
nice.
Actually, I even beat Chris there. I did actually finish it, which was the original goal intended.
It was the goal. See, it was, and honestly, like, it's funny. I was more concerned that I was like, man, I'm gonna show up and I'm gonna I'm not gonna
Chris,
have technically
I give you a lot of props because you actually touched your game, which
I did.
is better
Well,
than
and you
Joe.
know what? And I think what's most
Pernell, I said better than Joe.
I think what's really important about when we decided that we were going to do the whole like 4 for February thing in the first place is that like we all kind of have a tendency to just be like, yeah, like you get distracted by other games or you get distracted by like, you know, just something else, and there's still really good games that we never give quite enough attention to that we need to.
Mm-hmm. There's so many games on this show that I would love to go back to and play more, but I can't because I just don't have the time.
I just got it.
This is the part where I want to clarify that I did not get through. One reason I didn't get through my game is because I did exactly what you just said. I put more time into a game that I couldn't pay people to buy, even though everyone should be playing it. And
Which one?
I am Iconoclast, man. I've been playing the living daylights out of that game. It is legit.
That is an awesome game.
And I'm like, hey guys, you should put down Monster Hunter World and it's 200 hours of gameplay and play the 10-hour game instead. I think you'll enjoy it. Oh, time. You have time.
I still haven't touched that game either. I bought that.
I haven't gotten
I shouldn't have bought it.
Yet. I'm gonna wait for PC.
Yeah. I mean,
Maybe one of those
Iconoclast first and play that because it's a gem. The guy.
I'm probably not going to play either.
The dude, he did it by himself. It took him 10 years. He did everything. Everything.
That's a long time.
Yes, but he did it. And it's good. Like, you don't see, that's the kind of stuff
I've
you
never heard of the game before.
Ever. Of course you didn't because you're
What is it on?
It's on what? Steam, PS4. I think Xbox might even have it.
No.
I haven't seen it on Xbox, which is why I haven't played it.
Yeah, but it's a gold, baby.
I'm not going to play something on Steam because I don't do that.
Well, hopefully they'll bring it over. we see a lot of games show up on Xbox after PlayStation and vice versa. You never know. Could show up.
Yeah, everyone needs to play, so hopefully they do that. So
You said doo-doo. Anyway, Cole, what was your game?
Since y'all don't remember, I'm going to tell you it was The Sims 4 because I played the fuck out of that this month. And then
Look,
I'm going to be honest.
CJ was like all over everyone, like, oh, you're the only one who did anything. And everybody but me played their shit.
I'm not done.
To be fair, played their shit is in quotation marks because she doesn't remember what she said either.
No. Hey, I wasn't done. Don't go put words in my mouth. Calm your tits. I was supposed to play Limbo. And I did. I have not completed it, but I have made a lot of progress because I was playing it without a guide. So it's just been me going at it as is. And I missed a bunch of achievements, which kind of pissed me off. But I'll go back for them.
Yeah, it's a 2-hour game once you know what you're doing.
But it was just like, I've taken it slow. I just kind of played it in between doing reviews and stuff. So I haven't just been able to sit down and hammer it down.
Yeah, that's why I've been doing reviews. That gave me a lot of time. I put like 20 hours in 3 weeks, which is actually not great, but still.
Like, like the stuff that I've had to review this month has been like really time heavy. Like I had Kingdom Come, and I had Immortal Redneck, and just a few games that were really time sinks. So it kind of cut down how much I could really sit. And then of course I played The Sims too much, but I did work on it, and I do intend. I probably won't be able to complete Limbo just because anything when it comes to achievements where it's like, oh, die, beat the game without dying X amount of times or whatever. I have arthritis, and that shit doesn't work for me. So I can't. I probably will never get like that achievement, but I would like to try to get the rest.
You can pay your goat to get the achievement. Oh wait, that doesn't.
I don't have goats anymore.
Oh god.
You monster! Now I'm gonna go cry for the rest of the show.
CJ, you son of a bitch.
No, what do you talking? Pay a goat?
I had pet goats.
Hey, I don't know.
Pernell, can't you hear the accent? She has farm animals.
Yeah, a lot of them. We have ducks, chickens, goats,
The things, man.
cats, dogs, rabbits.
Not only do you have a goat, but you have a goat that can beat games for you. These are things I need to know. You know these things.
My goat was named Winchester, and he was amazing. He would like go down slides, and he'd bring you tools when you were building things. He'd like pick up your hammer and bring it to you.
Oh God!
Was he really good at
Breaking
Streets of Rage
awesome.
2?
Huh?
Could he play Streets of Rage 2?
He probably could have. If not, he would have just headbutted the TV. And he's like, he figured out how to open the front door, and we live in the middle of nowhere. We locking the doors isn't a thing we do here. And I came in.
I wouldn't admit that on a podcast.
No, yeah. Well, I live.
You getting robbed next week?
If you want to come out to No Man's Land, good on you. But like the goat figured out.
The wolves will get you.
Yeah, the goat figured out how to open the door, and we'd went to the store, and we come home, and we opened the front door, and there he was, just laying on the couch like nothing had happened. He'd locked himself in the house, and there was just a goat sitting there on my couch, just chewing like nothing was wrong. My curtains were knocked down. I had a panic attack thinking he's like, like a headbutt. What if he broke my TV or something? But no, it was all fine. He was just tore the curtains down and was sitting there chewing on them.
I'm totally trying to figure out how you could wire up like some DDR pads to get the goat to figure out how to play Xbox. Like, because you can't. There's no fingers. There's no fingers. You gotta have gigantic Xbox controller on the floor and then have goat figure it out.
Goat could probably learn drums in Rock Band.
Yeah, there you go. Or at least bass.
Vocals.
Yeah, the vocals. That's true.
Ah.
Sing Stevie Nicks all day.
And the landslide burn you down.
Chris, that'll be the second album that you put out. Just goat covers of. You could call it Power Ballads.
Oh my God, no.
There you go, Carnage. No. There you go, Carnage, hanging out in the chat. There's a pun for you.
I was about to ask when you added Carnage to the call.
Jeez.
Oh man, Grant, what was your game?
I got to start on Full Metal Toadstool.
Oh yeah, Grant, you're gonna help with that, aren't you?
That should have been your game for the month. Just doing that album.
Yeah, doing an album. Oh, so Grant, what was your game?
I think it was Skyforce Reloaded. Chris, you didn't play that, did you?
No, but so is there a mobile version of that?
There is.
Okay, I played the mobile version.
Okay, yeah,
it's extensively.
Oh yeah, they ported it, made it a console game essentially,
yeah,
which
as
happens
soon as
a lot
I
on
looked
the
it up,
Switch.
I was like, why does this look so familiar?
Yeah, they ripped out all the timers and crap that you get on mobile games and up the graphics and put it on console. But yeah, I played it as much as you can. There's some things I probably won't be able to do because I don't have any friends that have the game, and I'm supposed to beat friends in the tournament to get, certain. I mean, there's no trophies on the Switch, but the trophy equivalent. And I got all
I haven't even paid attention to any of that on my Switch.
Oh, there's no reason to. I mean, there's no every game calls it something different. It's they have their own little version of it, but
right.
It doesn't matter.
They don't have a system-wide thing like PlayStation trophies or Xbox achievements.
Yeah, but yeah,
aren't Xbox achievements supposed to be getting redone or something soon?
They're talking about some kind of enhancement to it. I don't know. We don't forget when the system first launched, they had those time challenges that people were supposed to, constantly have new achievements. How fucking often do we see those? Forza Horizon 3 is the only game I know that still does them.
Yeah.
And they're horrible because they're worth 0 G.
Well, they have to be 0.
Yeah, I know, but they're still horrible.
I think Killer Instinct probably still does them.
Maybe.
Wait, there's one layman in here. What are you timed achievements?
Yeah.
They're called challenges.
Yeah, they were all 0. They weren't technically achievements, but they would be lumped in with your achievements if you got them. If you didn't get them, you wouldn't see them. So it's not like there's a completion of oh man, look at all these that I could never get. They just won't be there.
Right.
And they only show up for people who nailed them, and only the person who got them can see them.
Well, if you compare achievement, like if Kris was to check my Diablo achievement list, he would see that they had a time challenge in there to like, I don't know, play it within a certain day or beat a boss within a certain day. Like that's something I got that Kris can never get. So I can always brag that I got an achievement in Diablo Kris will never get.
Yeah. I mean,
to be fair,
you could then subsequently ask me if I give a fuck, which I don't.
Oh, I know. I very
he
much
says
know.
That now, but then he wakes up in the middle of the night again. Oh God, it's the dream again.
Night sweats. Like, blah, blah.
The only real point to them is like the way Forza Horizon uses them, where you get actual in-game rewards for doing them.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it.
Yeah, I like that.
And I liked, when games did it and you would just see, oh, I got a special achievement. Oh, that's nifty. Because it's, more achievements is fun. I don't care if they're 0 point. They're just cool to see the little notification pop up.
More is good.
Good
More
stuff.
DLC?
But yeah, so it looks like everybody did fairly well, except for me.
Hey, how about this? 1 month from today, Joe's Redemption.
Oh man, yeah. My redemption, and Grant and I were gonna fist fight about it.
Hi-oh.
What do you think, Grant? Gonna fist fight
about what? Who's gonna actually play Jurassic something?
Yeah,
Jurassic something.
I'm ready. I'm ready to throw down with my dino fists. Let's go.
Grant, did you play the Jurassic pinball yet?
I did actually.
Nice.
I did. It's good stuff.
It's
good stuff. It's a really good collection of tables. I'm actually trying to build a pinball controller for my Switch.
Nice.
At the moment, I figured out that you can play in vertical orientation.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that's cool.
I saw someone they hacked a Switch gamepad and built a fight stick. I was like, oh my god, I could just buy some buttons, hack the cheapest Switch controller I can find, and make a bit like a little tiny pinball machine with the extra monitor I have turned vertical. So I'm working on it. I was going to do that with a computer a long time ago, but I don't have one of those, an extra one. So I'll let y'all know how it goes.
Nice.
Hackery.
Yeah, how so you said you're doing it on the Switch for
so essentially it's like I'm just going to build out a cardboard to start, just make sure it works, but essentially I bought a gamepad. It's the worst gamepad in the world.
Okay.
I mean, you don't
like
even
a Power A, like.
Oh, it's trash. It's awful. It's $14. It was $14 for a Switch controller. Not too bad.
Quality.
I cracked it open and I got the PCB out of it, and I'm soldering wires to the board, hooking up to arcade buttons, and so it'll be buttons.
They don't have one of those cardboard ones that they're already doing with the, what are they calling that? Their cardboard peripherals.
Amiibo or no, Labo or whatever.
Labo. Nintendo Labo.
Yes.
I feel like that's something that they should do for that. No, maybe.
Oh my god! Someone is gonna make one up now.
Yeah, that's a pretty sharp idea. I don't know why they don't.
Cool as hell.
I would do that. I would make that.
Oh man. Well,
market.
Grant, I know you were saying that you had to head out. Did anyone else want to stick around and do news, or do you just want to wrap this up for now?
I'm down for news.
Unfortunately, I do need to get head out though, because I was more so trying time. The thing from earlier that I mentioned, time sucks, but I like talking.
Well, Grant and Pernell, thanks as always for jumping on here and chatting. Grant, we got to get you and Kris set up for that Full Metal Toadstool. That's got to happen.
Yes.
I'm going to have some time this summer, so like
I would like to
I'll start at least fleshing out a couple ideas before then, but I'll be able to like really sink some crazy time into it once like about June hits, so
would I be able to do a guest growl?
Yes.
I think we can do that.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do vocals. We have to do like, yeah.
I want Pernell to do like a drill sergeant as Samuel L. Jackson.
I need to find someone that could do a good like Major Payne impression.
Oh God.
Oh mercy!
I definitely want.
There's a movie I haven't heard about in a long time.
Listen, and the only reason why that movie is always like fresh on my mind when I'm thinking about drill sergeants is because when I was in the Air Force, like my drill sergeant looked like he acted and sounded and looked like Major Payne.
Oh God.
It was hilarious. But he only listened to 90s wrestling themes and Evanescence.
So there's a combination for you.
Dude, it was bizarre. It was fucking weird.
What kind of combination is that?
Now he's that wrestler that comes out to Evanescence.
Well, dude, because there was a night, like, I mean, like, most of the time when I was in basic training, I was completely isolated from music, which I didn't realize how much that was going to bother me until I was actually in there. But like, I don't know, maybe like 4 or 5 weeks in, he was like, "Yeah, you guys are doing a good job. Like, I'm gonna put on some music for you guys." And I was like, "Oh my god, yeah, music! I would love to listen to some music." And then all of a sudden, I just hear like,
"I am a real American."
Dude, no, it was like it wasn't even that. It was like
inside.
I think the first one was like. I think it was like Shawn Michaels' theme.
Oh my god!
And I was like,
"Oh
what?"
boy,
like, I'm just a sexy boy,
sexy boy. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, and then literally like next song is like "Bring Me to Life," and then like next song is like fucking like Stone Cold's theme, like not like the Disturbed one.
And then going under.
Did you basically come out of the military like having to relearn music, like you were tapping your foot to a dripping faucet?
Not really, but
I could
there's
remix
like certain
this.
songs. There's certain songs that are like completely. They have a completely different meaning for me now. Like a "Don't Speak" from No Doubt. It was the first song that I heard on the outside. Like once I started like
when I got out.
Yeah, when I got out, and then the next one was "Telephone" from when fucking what the hell is her name? Oh, Lady Gaga and Beyonce did their thing. So yeah, in order, it was those two.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was like a reawakening.
It was.
Oh man.
I was like, oh my god, this isn't fucking Xbox theme. This is great.
This music is waking me up inside.
All right. Well, Pernell, Grant will let you get going. Otherwise, this is never gonna end, and you guys will just never go. You'll never go. So hang up. Go away.
You guys are great.
Love you, Grant.
Catch you guys later.
You guys are great. Go play Jurassic Lego Park. Bye.
We'll see.
Go build some Legos.
Oh man. All right. Please. So news. We do have some news. Oh, Pernell, you're still here. Are you going to say bye?
I'm logging off now.
Bye. Bye. All right. So news. A lot of news happened this week so far. It's only Tuesday that we're recording this part of the show, and there's already a lot of news.
Yeah, I was just about to ask. Isn't it weird to do this on Tuesday? Isn't it supposed to be a Thursday?
I mean, we're going to do more shit later on this week, so.
I kind of figured you guys
always more shit to do.
Always.
Part, but it's fun.
Always shit to do. But one new game was added to the Xbox backward compatibility list today, and that is the original Crackdown.
Finally. I've been hoping for
and
that.
It is 1X enhanced.
Indeed. Not only is it there, it is 1X enhanced, and it looks fucking insane, by the way.
It's shiny.
And 3 more games were added to the enhanced list as well, with Fable Anniversary, hell yes, Forza Horizon.
That I'm excited to see.
And The Witcher 2.
Also amazing.
Like, seeing screenshots of, like, next to each other, it is insane, the amount of detail that is hidden in these games that has just never been able to be shown off until now.
Yep. Well,
It's
I mean,
crazy.
or until you play the PC version.
Well, yeah, true.
All right.
I'm just
I
want to see. I want to see you play Forza Horizon on PC.
I play Forza Horizon on my PC. Actually,
the first one.
I mean, I could try. I'll get an Xbox emulator.
There you go. And then they added some graphics options. If you were playing an Xbox One X enhanced game, you can switch between graphics mode and performance mode just through the in-game the 360 guide that you could pull up. So that's pretty neat that they're even letting you choose between visuals and performance.
I love that, mainly just because like there's certain games that I would value the fidelity of the graphics over the performance and vice versa. Like, for example, obviously I would want Rocket League to run in performance mode, but I would want
360 version of Rocket League.
Well, but I'm just saying, like,
I mean, I feel like with 360 games, you don't really got to worry about that because it's still a 360 game.
There were certain games that, like, I remember specifically, I would get to certain sections and like it would chug like bad, like real bad.
Maybe on the 360, but
even like some of the running it on an Xbox One as like the backwards compatible stuff. Like, I mean, you look at even Skate, they've done the enhanced visuals and stuff like that. If they could redo that so that it would run in a performance mode so that the frame rate was higher, especially in the.
Well, you can. You'll be able to.
Can you?
Yeah. It's going to be that for all of the Xbox One X enhanced games, the 360 ones.
And yeah, that's fucking amazing.
So yeah, now you have a reason to come back over and try it in performance mode.
And see if it's any different.
And super hot VR, because I still bought it waiting for you to come over and play it.
Yeah, play that so fucking bad.
Cole, any thoughts on the backward compatible stuff? I'm trying to make you not talk that much.
I know.
And by making you not talk, he's going to ask you questions.
Yeah.
Like beyond just that, the screenshots look amazing from what I've seen. I have The Witcher 2, and I don't know. I don't have an X though, so it doesn't. I don't think the enhancements really matters much. I did upgrade to a 1S. Nice, but I don't think it does. Like, I don't know how that affects the whole.
I don't think it'll do anything for you.
Yeah, no, the S and the original weren't really that different, aside from like some cooling things and getting rid of the power brick.
Yeah, at least
and 4K Blu-rays.
My TV does tell me it is at 4K when it picks up the Xbox. So I just take its word for it and be like, "Cool, you're a good TV. You do you." Well, and everything looks fantastic.
It has very limited 4K because of the 4K Blu-ray.
So I'm not sure,
games aren't going to be in 4K. Like, your TV might upsample it, but
the TV,
that's all you're getting.
There's upsampling from the TV, and then I seem to think the S was supposed to on some things. I don't know if it does or not.
Well, it has like the high dynamic
range
and stuff, right?
Yeah. Like the colors are way. That's the thing too. Is like my TV and my Xbox both died recently, and so I bought a new TV and I upgraded the Xbox. And then I'm sitting there going, I don't know if this is because of the Xbox or if it's because of the new TV, but everything is so fucking shiny and pretty, and I'm happy.
I'm
welcome to 4K.
And I'm just like, I just want to touch it. Just give me a second. Oh, now it's got a finger smudge. Hold on, I gotta go get it.
Let's see here. Kris, you're talking about playing stuff on PC. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite was just upgraded to an Xbox Play Anywhere title.
Yeah, how about that, man? Like, I as soon as I read that, I was like, of all the things, like, that's kind of interesting, because obviously, like, they've had that through Steam for God knows how long. But yeah, being able to, like, if I wanted to pick it up, I wouldn't have to feel weird about, like, potentially having to buy it again to have it on the console.
Yeah.
The Play Anywhere thing, like, so from what I understand, like, they're trying to really push that, especially with the new subscription service. Like, wasn't there just like an interview that's like, I forget who they were talking to, but there's one of the news sites that I follow that they reported on it today, that they're just like, yeah, they're trying to really push to utilize that a little bit more for especially like trying to extend their exclusiveness and stuff like that. Like to really kind of like cater to both the PC and the console market together.
Yeah, it seems they want to push the Game Pass, and I actually have shit about Game Pass on here, but real quick, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, it also got a price drop from $60 down to $40. So
it's about fucking time.
So yeah, you can get it for $40 and get it on your Xbox and your computer.
My computer.
But Game Pass, since you brought that up, all of the additions for March were announced, so by the time you hear this show, some new games will be added to Game Pass. On the 360, you'll be getting Sonic CD, and then on the Xbox One, you're going to be getting Dovetail Games Eurofishing, hell yeah, The Final Station, Oxenfree, Resident Evil Revelations, and then 3 really, really big ones, Rise of the Tomb Raider, Super Lucky's Tale, and obviously, starting off their whole new initiative, March 20th, Sea of Thieves. launching directly in.
I think this will be the reason I end up pulling the trigger between Sea of Thieves and also Super Lucky's Tale, because I don't want to buy it. I know it's one that I just want to kind of like play for a bit. It's not something that I'm going to want to keep in my collection constantly. So like this is a perfect example as to why like the Game Pass is like really, it's covering a lot of ground as far as like how people want to use it as a service and what kind of value it brings to people, you know?
Yeah, I mean, look at it this way. Are you considering spending $60 on Sea of Thieves? Put that $60 towards 6 months of Game Pass instead.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And then you get Sea of Thieves and fucking 140 other games.
On other shit, yeah.
Unfortunately,
that stuff does work with Play Anywhere.
The games that are Play Anywhere,
Anywhere, right. So I could still use Sea of Thieves because I'm primarily going to want to probably play that on PC. So it's still going to work. So for me to play it on PC, I don't have to like get a PC copy and then fucking, yeah, it's awesome. I'm excited.
I think some people made a list of, I think there's like less than 10 games that are on Game Pass that are Play Anywhere.
Yeah, but even still, those couple, like, that's good enough for me. Like, because I would honestly, like, even if a bunch of them weren't Play Anywhere, I would still consider it a good value.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It only makes it that much better because I actually utilize my PC and I can take advantage of that, you know?
No. Let's see. Gears of War 4, Halo Wars 2, Recore, Riptide GP Renegade, and Zoo Tycoon are the ones that are in there now that are Play Anywhere.
I would try like Halo Wars on PC. That would probably be awesome on PC. Or Gears.
Yeah.
I would consider Gears.
But
I still never played one.
Some bad news with Game Pass. There's going to be a big chunk of games that are leaving at the beginning of March as well. Most of them 360 games, so it's not a massive loss. I know a lot of people were bummed that there was so much 360 stuff in there anyway. But Xbox One is losing D4 Dark Dreams Don't Die in Strider.
Okay, those were games with gold anyway, right?
Strider wasn't, but D4 was.
I think Strider was PlayStation Plus.
Oh, okay.
That might be it.
Strider's been on sale many times for like $3, so.
Yeah. So that's not a big loss.
And then Xbox 360 is losing a chunk here with Capcom Arcade Cabinet, Dark Void, Flock, Iron Brigade, Joe Danger 2 the movie, Monday Night Combat, N+, Sega Vintage Collection Monster World, Sega Vintage Collection Streets of Rage, and Virtua Fighter 5 Final Showdown.
Some of those kind of suck that they're leaving, but at the same time, like, you know, they may end up bringing them back later. Mm-hmm. You know, who knows the other stuff that they're gonna like. So, how many games do you think that they'll add that weren't announced come the next month?
What do you mean?
Like you said, like the ones that we just went over. There's going to be more that are going to get added too, right?
Well, in March, no.
No, so just the ones that you mentioned.
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's like 8 games every month get added.
And how many are getting taken off?
I think it's
12.
like 12, but they haven't removed that many games at all since it started. I think maybe
mostly
less than 10 games. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which that's
sports games.
Sports games, whatever.
I don't even like wrestling and NBA were in there, but they got replaced with a newer version.
The only one that actually got removed that I can think of that was like a full-on game was Metal Gear Solid 5, which they announced as soon as it went in that it was going to be removed.
Yeah, that was only going to be in for like 2 months. Let's see. More Xbox news. A very interesting rumor is going out this week of a potential new Xbox One exclusive. Before I even say the title, take this with a couple of buckets of salt because this is just very much a rumor. But the current word is Vanquish 2 will be an Xbox One exclusive.
Yeah, I just saw that today too.
I didn't even know.
I never played the first one.
Neither did I.
Well, the first one is now playable on Xbox One.
And that can't be that can't be a coincidence.
You never know. I would love to see it happen. Not because
Did you play the first one?
Oh yeah, it's fucking amazing. It's over the top, just insane action. It's short, but it's just constant action, super fast cover shooter. You got to play.
I like cover shooters. I do like cover shooters.
You gotta check it out. You can borrow my copy if you want.
Well, I mean, I could probably. How much is it?
Well, if you could find it, GameStop is sold out like all around here.
Oh, well, of course. As
Steve
soon as
might
they
have
make it. Yeah, I'm sure he's probably got like a bajillion of them fucking stacked up at his house somewhere.
Probably. I got the last one at the mall here, and it was in a fucking generic case, so I kind of want a new one anyway.
Yeah, if anybody's gonna have them, he'll have them.
But yeah, I'm very excited to hear whether or not this is true, not only because it's another exclusive, which the Xbox very clearly needs, but just because it's a new Vanquish. That would be fucking awesome. And it seems go ahead.
I've been dying to play another cover shooter.
Yeah, it seems like Sega's getting into this thing where they're just going to offer up their IPs. It's like, oh, you want to fund this game? Fuck it, we'll give it to you exclusive.
That was a Playground game, wasn't it?
Platinum.
Or Platinum, yeah. Sorry.
Although, from what I'm hearing, Platinum won't be involved in it.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
As Sega owns the IP, so I don't know if they're going to farm it out to another studio. They might get Platinum involved. I don't know how badly Platinum wants to work with Microsoft right now after Scalebound.
Well, yeah. That's why I was kind of like, I was interested, like, when that started coming up, but I was just like, I mean, maybe they don't have that bad of a relationship then, like...
Let's see. Rocket League has, they've had an advertising partnership with the WWE for quite a while, and it looks like they were going to be taking it to the next level. In addition to being a partner for WrestleMania 34, where if you go to WrestleMania, even like the fan access areas, they're going to have Rocket League set up for you to play.
Amazing.
They are going to be bringing WWE items to Rocket League later on this year.
Yeah, all I want to see is I need a goal explosion with glass shattering.
Oh my god, yes!
like that's all I need. That's all I need. If that happens, I'll be in fucking heaven. Like
that'll get me to play Rocket League a lot more.
Yeah.
Which I kind of saw that coming from a mile away when I saw the advertisements all over Royal Rumble.
I'm shocked it took this long.
I haven't been watching wrestling at all, so I didn't know that they were doing any of that kind of advertising stuff. Or else I would have saw it coming.
They've been sponsoring pay-per-views for months now. Like every other month, they'll be like, Rocket League presents WWE Survivor Series or Battleground or fucking whatever it is this week.
That's so funny, actually. Like, that's really funny.
Yeah.
I mean, they had like DC items and stuff like that. So I'm just kind of more curious as to like how they're going to approach it. Cause like when you take IPs like the DC comic stuff, like when they have the Flash wheels and like something else.
Batmobile.
Like the Batmobile, like there's like the vehicles make sense. So I don't know if there would be like specific car, unless they have like a beer truck.
Well, I don't think they would have a beer truck, but if they don't have like the Undertaker's hearse or Steve Austin's monster truck,
ooh,
like that shit needs to happen.
I don't know if they'll do cars, but I could definitely see like just like the antennas and shit.
Yeah, I mean, I would assume it would be something at least like maybe wheels. Like they like to do wheels a lot.
Like you could do John Cena's "You Can't See Me" like the little necklace thing.
Funny, actually.
Undertaker's hat for a topper.
That would be amazing.
The only thing that they've said so far is that there will be in-game customization items to Rocket League later this year, with more information being revealed in April, saying, quote, "We believe WWE fans will be happy all year long."
Okay, what about non-WWE fans? What if I don't give a fuck about WWE stuff?
Then you can still play Rocket League.
I want more Unicorn.
Play with your fucking Pickle Rick on there.
Oh god.
I don't use no Pickle Rick. I don't watch Rick and Morty either.
What?
See, you know what? That was one of the ones that they did that I was like, really, guys? Like, like.
Well, Rick and Morty's actually a solid show, so
I do like it, but it's just like it's I don't know, like most of the people that are just like super really hardcore fans about it, like if you tell them that you're not a super hardcore ridiculous fan about it, they just look at you like you're a moron.
Yeah.
I haven't even watched the third season yet, but one day.
It's funny. It's good.
My car looks like a unicorn, and all I want is a fucking unicorn goal explosion.
Well, email Psionics and be like, hey, make this happen.
No,
I was on this podcast, and I want a fucking unicorn goal explosion. I want it to explode, and I want rainbows to come out of it. I want rainbows to come out of it, and then I want a herd of unicorns to come running out from the bottom of the goal. That's what I want.
I want Steve Austin glass shattering.
Yeah,
Right?
that'd be
Chris, you
Right?
sold
That
me
would
on
be
that.
amazing.
That needs to happen.
and just
That's
a small little
probably more
snippet of the
likely to happen
glass shatter, and then the rock. The
It should
fucking
honestly, and it
disturb.
should go into the. It should go into the riff.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. That's it. Just that first little measure, and
That'd
then I
be
would.
great.
Yep. I'd be
Oh
happy.
man, Tony Hawk has confirmed he is no longer working with Activision on skateboarding games.
I felt like that was confirmed forever ago when the contract ended, and then they didn't.
I was going to say, this is a question.
Well, it's getting
Oh, he,
it's
like,
getting
tweeted out
news.
about it.
Yeah, there's been news about it this week because people have been messaging Tony Hawk like, "Hey, re-release this game or give us a remake of this game or turn these servers on." And he's like, "Listen, I don't work with Activision anymore. They own Tony Hawk Pro Skater, the IP, but I'm not working with them anymore. So go fucking bug them." So
Yeah, basically like, don't come to me. I don't fucking care.
He's not a game developer. He can't do these things.
yeah,
Well, see, but he used to be really involved in the earlier ones, like especially like the first couple. He was really
I'm
involved in them. Yeah.
His name was attached to them.
Yeah.
Wanna-
I don't
wanna
know.
Make sure they were right.
Sega had a
Just
fun
give me,
day
Just give me
today.
Skate 4. Just give me Skate 4.
Well, Activision can't do that.
Like,
Well, Tony Hawk has said he's working with he's hinted that he's working with someone new on a skateboarding game, so maybe Tony Hawk Skate 4?
Or
I
they
just want-
Wishful
Skate
thinking? Who knows?
give me Skate 4.
But Sega had a really fun day today. They uploaded a demo for Yakuza 6 to, PlayStation all over the world, and Sega of America done fucked up. They
What did they do?
uploaded the full game.
Idiots.
It had a timer on it. The normal demo is supposed to let you play chapter 1 and then, hey, the demo's over and then your save will carry over if you pick up the full game. People found that there is a way to bypass that and just play the entire goddamn game for free.
That's so funny. Oh man.
So yeah, it appears it's a US only thing because some people in the UK have confirmed that their demo is still up and no one over there had any kind of issues with it. So yeah, if you got that today, congrats.
Congratulations. You now own a full game, basically.
Yeah. And then last thing
Well, they
I
could
have
probably
here.
patch that out now.
I don't know.
I'm sure they could.
Just keep your system offline forever until you beat the game.
Yeah. Until you beat the game. Yeah, that makes sense.
But last bit of news I have here is the ESRB has finally made a statement on all the uproar over loot crates and microtransactions and all that. They
I
are
didn't
going to
catch that
be,
today.
they're going to be introducing a new label to games, alerting customers when a game has content available to purchase with real money. That includes microtransaction and loot crates, but it also includes pretty much everything. As the ESRB themselves mentioned, levels, coins, skins, music, season passes, upgrades, subscriptions.
Any DLC.
So it's just a
DLC.
blanket label.
So it doesn't make much difference because every game has something to some extent.
Yeah. So a lot of people.
But you know what? There's been a lot of studios that have been priding themselves in the fact that they don't do it. Ergo, the guys that do Witcher and CD Projekt Red and like all of them, like they're like they don't have that in their games.
They have DLC though.
But because it's all lumped in like that,
Yeah, just because
you're gonna create a problem where like parents who need to know this shit are just gonna start to gloss over it because they're just not gonna know the difference between. Or little Johnny might just straight up lie and be like, "Oh yeah, it just means that there's they're gonna be extras and I won't buy them," And then
and that's no different than how the labels are on it for. Yeah, but that's no different than how the labels are on it for like mature content and stuff. Look at I worked at a GameStop. There's plenty of parents that would come in and just be like they'd pick up Grand Theft Auto and it's for like a 7-year-old. And it's just like
I mean that's the thing too. Like it's just glossed over. So the whole thing with the loot trace thing, it's great that they're paying attention to finally adding a label, but it's so generic and broadband, just like the M's and stuff, are that so many parents are just going to ignore them anyway.
No,
They're just gonna be like, okay, well, whatever.
Well, I think it's an okay first step, but the problem here isn't DLC as a whole. It's microtransactions, loot crates, the whole gambling aspect, not all purchases. So hopefully they continue to have internal discussions about this and refine things. Because don't forget, the ratings have gone through changes over the years. The first version of the ratings instead of E for everyone was K to A for kids to adults.
Yeah, I do remember that.
So, yeah, they're hopefully they'll keep working on it. They'll make ways to differentiate between, a game like The Witcher. It has 2 expansions that are, significant additions for a substantial amount of money, isn't lumped in the same with, Star Wars that just has gambling loot crates and bullshit.
And bullshit.
Yeah. So what do you, CJ, what do you think? You haven't said anything for a while.
That's because you guys you had it going. I was just admiring the incredible skill you guys have.
He's like, I miss these days. I used to watch this every week.
I used to actually watch this show. And then I joined it, and I haven't seen an episode since.
You bastard.
Yeah, sounds about right.
No, but, loot boxes, DLC.
Helpful.
Yep. Yeah.
I did listen. I think it's dumb that they're doing that. They should absolutely have a statement for microtransactions only versus DLC, because DLC is it's just not as shady, I guess.
Yeah.
It's like you learn to expect that now.
Yeah.
And it's
see, but
most games don't lock away real content from that.
Well, there's certain games that I'm okay with the DLC for, so I get it. There's other games that I think the DLC is fucking, I think it's a cash grab, but
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's a variety of different kinds of DLC. Some DLCs are almost better than the real game, and other DLCs are like, why did you add this? Thanks for making me spend $10 and I got an hour of content. All of a sudden, that was pointless. Thanks.
No. Oh man. Well, yeah, that's all the news I got. Anything any of y'all want to discuss?
Yes.
What?
I have one little thing that I just saw that happened actually yesterday.
What happened?
A game released on PC that for Windows 10, so it has the achievements, that has a total gamer score of 1,048.
Oh yeah,
What?
Carnage was telling me about that.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck?
What an odd achievement total.
That's so garbage. Normally, it's like the excuses. Well, if you don't want that, like you said it a few times on the show, you don't want that. I guess you just have to get good enough to complete the game. Well, what do you do here?
Well, you complete the game and then you cry.
Or you complete the game enough to get a full 1,000 and then leave 48 points.
Yeah, there you go. But okay, CJ, well, you're the completionist here. What would you do in this situation?
Start the game.
I wouldn't play it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not going to play it.
Well, there you go.
It doesn't really look like a game I want to play anyway. It was just interesting to me that Xbox actually allowed.
I wish I cared about achievements more.
Just start.
I don't know, man. I don't ever want to get the kind of person who my gamer score ends in a 0 and I don't want to fucking I don't know. I just can't. I can't do it, man. I tried.
Mine has been odd for ages, and I like achievements, and I like chasing after and hunting and trying to get as many as I can. But I don't get upset if it's odd. I'm just like, oh, it ends in an 8 or a 1 or whatever, and I'm just like, okay, well, carry on, next game.
It's funny. I honestly kind of passively try to ignore them as much as possible just to see what my gamer score ends up coming out to when I don't pay attention to it. You know what I mean? Because I know that there's certain games that I could look at the achievement list and be like, oh, that'll take me 5 seconds. But I just don't. I don't know. I just don't want to care. I just there's no incentive, I guess.
I mean, it just depends on how you are as a gamer. Some people enjoy just playing the games. Other people are like me. It's just I enjoy the achievement unlocking more than I do some games. I'll stick through a game I don't like just to finish it and have my goal completed.
I have Spike completed games.
Nice.
Yeah, I've done that too.
This game is fucking awful. I'm gonna get every achievement just to prove I did it. Fuck you, game.
And there are other games that you go and complete the game and it's Well, I could absolutely do that again because it was actually a lot of fun to every achievement. None of them were bullshit. It was just a lot of fun to play through. Like I've done Saints Row 4 twice, and I'm thinking about getting the Australian version because you can easily do that now with the Game Pass.
Wait, what? You're like, does that count as different gamer score?
Because the Australian version released differently and had like different in-game content, they released a separate achievement list because they had to censor shit out. So it was a separate game technically, and you can get it from the Game Pass because if you just buy the Game Pass first, then change your region, all of a sudden when you download Saints Row 4 Re-Elected, it'll be the
It's just a different version. Wow, how about
Interesting.
that?
So I'm thinking about doing that because I loved doing that the first 2 times. So why not do it again?
How about it? That's funny.
No.
For me, it's the satisfaction of getting an achievement that's been stuck for a really long time, or even that I just thought that I couldn't get, and then I did. There's a lot of satisfaction there, and that's what I enjoy most about hunting for achievements. Like if I look at a game, every time I launch a game, I go look at the achievement list, and I'm consciously aware that okay, I have limitations to how I can play and what I can play. And I may very well not be able to complete a certain type of game if it, like I mentioned earlier, with the 5 deaths or less. As soon as I see those kind of achievements, I'm like, yeah, wipe that off the board. I'm not going to get
it. Those ones are just annoying in the first place anyway.
No.
Well, and I've mentioned it before, but my fingers are crooked, and that affects how I play games, and it affects my ability to be able to time things sometimes. So, for me, getting 10, 15 deaths in a puzzle is just like, whatever, keep going. I'll get it eventually. As soon as my fingers, when I go in the appropriate locations, will be good. And I'm okay with that, but I feel like I get a little penalized when it comes to achievements like that. So I just immediately see it on the list and go, yeah, I'm not getting that one. But sometimes I will see an achievement and I'll be like, yeah, that's a no-go. We're not getting that. And then it'll pop. And I feel incredibly proud of myself because that's something I didn't think I could do.
Nice.
And I did it anyway, whether it's just dumb luck or whatever. And if I manage to get a full-on completion like that when I didn't expect to, I never thought in a million years I'd complete so many me. I was like, yeah, this is just out of my realm. I'm going to run through it, play it, get what I can, and be done. I completed it. And again, it was just it took me a fuck ton of time. But that sense of pride and accomplishment was a big deal.
Pride of accomplishment.
I can completely understand that. Hell, I think the game that's given me the most of that feeling was Trials Fusion, which a game that I had never played a Trials game before Fusion. So coming from the original point I was at, where I was garbage at it, to being able to unlock achievements that 50 hours in, I still wouldn't be able to do it. Now I have 260 hours in the game.
Yeah, dude. Trials, honestly, game. Trials was one of the first games that did that for me too, but it was on the Trials HD on the 360. Because there were so many levels that I'm like, I'm not going to pass this. I can't even get to the finish line. Once you get to some of those ones at the end, man,
those extremes. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah,
that was me with Fusion. Some of those ones I couldn't do, and now it's I got silver and gold medals on some of them. It's geez.
Yeah, it's nuts, dude. It's totally
and Trials HD. You just mentioned that. It's I didn't play that until much later because I got it on sale, and I managed to complete that entire game in one evening. In 5 hours because I had so much
experience
practice.
From the other. Yeah, dude.
That's
cool. And that's one of those series that it doesn't matter which version of it you end up getting, it's still it all kind of transfers over.
Exactly. There's only very slight differences with them because they fine tune it a little bit. Trials HD was definitely rougher.
Yeah, of course. But that's why I thought the levels at the end were that much more ruthless.
Yeah, because the bunny hopping wasn't as solid.
Right.
I did manage to get that marathon achievement though that night, and that was so awesome. Because that ultimate endurance tournament with no falls.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Damn,
that achievement's super rare.
Well, I'm proud
I don't think
of
that's one that I'll ever be able to get.
Man, that was a lot of time invested into Trials as a series in order to get that.
Dude, I'm excited for Trials of the Blood Dragon so much.
Yeah, me too. I held off for so long.
Me too, man. Me too. I was I know there's either I'm going to be able to get this stupid cheap or they might just give it away.
I wish I would have waited on Super Hot because I bought that a year ago and I still haven't touched it. And it's Well,
Yeah, I never bought that yet either. So
Super.
that's a good one to get out of this
Super.
list.
yeah, dude, that's why I'm really excited about the games for gold for this month.
Super. Hot.
I'm really excited to play the VR version, honestly.
Super.
Apparently, the VR version has an unobtainable
Unobtainable
achievement. Yeah.
achievement.
Well, this would be on PlayStation.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Because I don't have a Windows 10 headset. Yeah, that would be fucking hilarious. I'm sure my computer would love that.
Oh, no, I guarantee it. Your PC would be able to run that like nothing else. Your computer would be super hot.
Oh God,
I hope Carnage is still around. That was really good. Actually, it was horrible. So yeah, it was really good.
So it was good. Yeah.
Jumping back to the whole achievement things, talking about games that have achievements with like 3s and 6s and everything. When I see those, they earn bonus points in my eyes.
Yeah, because they're weirder.
Because I love them. I fucking I love them because it pisses so many people off.
Yeah, I have a very similar outlook on them.
So
I have a couple. I know I've got some really weird achievements from certain games where it's like a 1 or like something stupid like that, and I was like, yeah, that's funny. Like,
and then the whole with that Worlds game, that's the one that has the 1048 or whatever it was. Worlds, it stands for Win, Own, Reinvent, Live, Discover, Sim. How's that for fucking complicated? But that game, Dark Mika was saying, I would never buy the thing because that would buy me fucking nuts. It's free to play.
oh,
So
that's
you
funny.
don't have to buy it. It's just
I still won't play
yours.
it. I refuse to play it because of that. Like, hey,
There you go.
you could put in weird achievements. At least, like, balance it out at the end.
I
That way,
think
you
it's
still have the challenge to do it, but it doesn't fuck you up.
I don't know. I think it's neat.
I think it's endearing.
Although I was laughing when Carnage told me about it. I'm like, yeah, Xbox certification really helped on that one, huh?
That's hilarious.
You know, with them doing this, there's just going to be more games that do it because they didn't think they could, and now.
Well, I don't think they're supposed to. I'm pretty sure that just got through. I'm guessing no one was paying attention to it. It's like,
That's
oh, a
possible.
Windows 10 game with achievements, whatever, go do what you want. Don't drink bleach. And now we have a game with 1048 achievements. Oh man, but
Tide Pod appetizers. I actually have a couple of, if I remember correctly, I have a couple news things that we could talk about quickly.
Sure, what you got?
So you remember that really crazy guy at the video game awards that was saying like fuck the Grammy or fuck the Oscars or whatever.
Yeah,
or
for A Way Out.
Yeah. He tweeted that A Way Out is finally gold.
Yep.
So it's actually going to release on time, and he's very excited. I'm sure he's very excited, actually. What else did I see today?
Excited. So fucking
so
happy.
fucking excited. I'm actually really excited for that game because I would like to play it. I don't know about you guys, but
I think it looks awesome.
Great. Although I definitely want to find somebody to play it with because I don't want to.
Well,
play
I mean, obviously,
the beauty is, like, if I get the game, you could play with me for free.
I can.
Oh, really?
That's fucking amazing. I guess they're gonna have the game, and I would assume they're going to have like a free companion version. That if you try playing it by yourself, it's like no. But if you try joining someone else's game, you're good. I don't know how it's gonna work, but they've said that only one person is going to need to buy it for 2 people to play online.
Yeah, that's so sick. Like, that's so awesome.
That's the right way to do game sharing, where the developer is like, yeah, share it with your friend. This is the way to do it.
I've never heard of that before with any other game, but sure.
Yeah.
Let's see how it works.
You'd see it in like certain stuff like DS games, shit like that.
Oh yeah. But the most I've seen that on like Xbox is like some DLCs are like that, like Rise's DLCs and Warhammer Vermintide was like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dark Mika, I'll get it
Left
to
4
play.
Dead.
Shit, if I get it to review, I'll fucking play it with all of you. Yeah, like we're gonna get an EA game to review. Good luck on that.
You're funny.
Never.
We got one EA game to review ever, and that's because we're good with the developers.
What game was that?
Fee. Last week.
Okay, yeah.
Because Zoink's been on the show before, so they're like, oh yeah, here's a code. Cool. We'll review it.
Yeah, that's a little different. That was directly from the developer.
Yeah. So I don't think EA is going to be returning my calls anytime soon.
But maybe once you hit 10,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Maybe.
Yeah, right. Fuck that.
Maybe. Anything else, Chris?
Shit. I knew there was something else that I actually wanted to mention. Now it's escaping me.
I know that MMO from last gen Defiance is getting brought back.
What?
Wait.
We got to talk about this right now because I loved that game so much.
I heard it was really awesome.
I did want it to go backwards compatible instead, though, because I wanted to finish the achievement list on the 360. But nonetheless, if I can transfer my character, I'm all cool with it.
You can.
Okay, then I'm cool with it.
And they're even going to be having some events in the original game to go back and like prepare for the new version.
That's kind of cool.
I'm so excited. I gotta go update it, and that's gonna take 5 hours. But still,
5 hours.
It takes forever to update that game. That game is ridiculous.
Oh man, yeah, it just got announced today that it's going to be coming back. Called, I think, Defiance 2050. They're calling it.
Oh, interesting.
But
I'm super excited. I loved the TV show, although it didn't get a great ending because it got canceled.
Well,
yeah,
but they continued it through the game. So it's really interesting. I'm excited.
I enjoyed the show. I was kind of bummed that went away too.
Yeah, especially because it was picking up so well. Like it was getting really good, and then it just had to end.
Well, why'd you break it?
I don't know. Stupid sci-fi.
Son of a bitch.
Oh man, Chris, did you have anything else?
It's escaping me. It's not important then.
Yeah.
Well, then I guess the last thing, if you go to defiance2050.com, you could sign up for the beta whenever that opens up.
I'm doing it right now.
Fair enough.
But I guess that's it for now. We'll take a quick break. We will be back with more show, possibly more news, depending on what happens in the next few days, and some reviews. So, Chris, final words to send us to some whatever song I'm playing.
My final words are, I can't wait to fight Ganon.
That's it?
Yeah, I just can't wait to fight him. Like I'm genuinely excited because it's just cool to have like that fresh feeling of like rebooting as like Zelda. Like it's such a good fucking game, man. I'm excited. I'm glad that I did like pick that as my game for this.
Do you want to revisit this in a month?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm still playing it. So like,
last week of every month, we'll just get all of us together.
Yeah, well then we gotta decide the games again. Although
Zelda,
Lego Jurassic World.
You could do. Okay, and I'll just do Borderlands the pre-sequel since I actually finished mine.
I'll just pick Lego every.
Let's see how many months it takes for Joe to actually finish.
Let's see how many months it takes me to start the game.
It'll be episode 420.
Bro, dude, like I just played Lego. It was like, oh man. It's fucking
probably didn't get past level 1 considering.
There's fucking dinosaurs, man. And then someone would just have to play like the melodica version of the theme, and I would just lose it.
Has the episode ended yet?
I think so. I don't know. Sure. All right, welcome back, everyone. Thanks for sticking around and enjoying the melodica, the soothing melodica tones of Jurassic Park. Remember that part? Remember when we did that thing?
I totally remember.
Yeah. Cole's still here. We got a little bit more news to talk about. Obviously, we recorded the first half of the show earlier this week on Tuesday. It is now Thursday, and a couple of more news bits happened during the week. I think the big thing, PlayStation Plus lineup for March was announced, and holy shit, they got a good one.
I did hear it was good, but I also heard there's some bad, so we'll go with the good first.
Yeah, we'll start with the good stuff. First up, the game list. PlayStation 3 is getting Legend of K, which I think is a very underrated 3D action adventure kind of game. Originally came out on PS2. And my friend did the music for it, so I like talking about that one.
Nice.
And PS3 is also getting Mighty Number 9, which will be on PS4 as well. PlayStation Vita is getting Bombing Busters and Claire Extended Cut. Also, both of those on PS4. And then PS4, this is the big one, Ratchet and Clank in Bloodborne.
Oh.
Yeah. They aren't fucking around this month. Yeah.
I wonder if that's because they feel like maybe they're competing against Sea of Thieves being in Game Pass.
Maybe. That would make a lot of sense. Maybe they're starting to take Game Pass a little bit seriously because, no one talks about PlayStation Now. No one cares about that at all. And
I forget it's a thing all the time.
I know everyone does. I'll see something online. It's like, oh, the Yakuza games are being added to PlayStation Now. I'm like, oh yeah, that's still a thing. Why? Why is it a thing? I don't know. But yeah, I think when Microsoft announced that all their first party games are going to be in Game Pass, I think Sony got a little spooked at that, and maybe this is a result of that.
In which case, then I wonder if Microsoft will feel the need to step up the games with gold titles too.
I hope so.
Or they'll just be like, whatever, it's in Game Pass.
Free's free, right? You're getting your free shit. I mean, everyone tries to compare the two, and they seem to forget, Xbox Live, when it started, was about online multiplayer, and that's it.
Yeah.
PlayStation Plus, when that started, was about games, and that was it. As things moved forward, free games got added to Xbox Live as a bonus perk. On the PlayStation side, online was taken away and stuck with PlayStation Plus. So they lost out on that.
Yeah.
On PS3, it went from it's cool to have because I get a couple of new games every month that I get to keep as long as I subscribe. And now they're kind of forced into getting it just to have online play.
Yeah.
But they still, their March is insane. And just a refresher, Xbox still has a decent month ourselves. Xbox 360 has Brave, the video game, Disney and Pixar, as well as Quantum Conundrum. And then Xbox One will have Trials of the Blood Dragon and Super Hot, but easy win for PlayStation this month.
Yeah.
Not even close.
But we still get Sea of Thieves in Game Pass. So
true. I was debating whether I was going to get Sea of Thieves or just nut up and get Game Pass because I like owning my stuff. But I figure if I'm going to get Game Pass, it's going to be I start the subscription and then I just never bother with it. It's just there forever.
Yeah.
And in our lives, Netflix, that's just there now. That's $10 a month.
Yeah.
That it's gone. That's how life is now. We have Netflix. We have WWE Network. Since the first month WWE Network started, I subscribed. We have never touched it since. That's my life now. I have WWE Network.
It's there and it's a thing.
Yeah, that's just how life is now. It's like when you get car and you have to pay car insurance. That's just life.
Yeah.
Netflix, WWE Network. That's just life.
Say that about WWE Network. And I subscribed to Hulu exclusively because I wanted to watch The Handmaid's Tale. And then I binged it because I had a free code, a code for a free month. So I binge watched The Handmaid's Tale and then I didn't touch it again. And then the next month they took the $5 out of my account and I was like, wait. I'm not using that. I don't want that. And I went to the site to cancel it. And when I went to cancel it, they were like, do you really want to cancel? I'm like, fuck yes, I want to cancel. And then I clicked it again and said, but if you don't cancel, we'll give you a free month right now. And I was like, okay, click. And I haven't touched it.
That's just life. That's life now. You have Hulu now.
Now I'm going to have to pay for it next month because the next season of Handmaid's Tale is out again.
There you go. But I was considering, am I going to do Game Pass or am I going to do Sea of Thieves? On eBay, some guy was selling 3-month codes of Game Pass that are stackable for $18.
Oh, damn.
So instead of spending $60 on Sea of Thieves, I spent $60 for 9 months of Game Pass, which will include Sea of Thieves and State of Decay and whatever else comes along. There were 6 games I got to install. It was crazy. It's this is Christmas. I have a lacrosse game now. I have Farming Simulator now. I have a digital copy of the original BioShock and Lego Batman, which I already got 1,000 on, but I still installed it because I can. Because everyone else, they get Game Pass and they're like, oh, there's like 100 games in my ready to install list. I get Game Pass. It's like, wow, there's 6 games in my ready to install list.
That was one of the things for us. Like, my husband was like, oh, let's get Game Pass. And I'm like, yeah, but have you seen the list? You can basically walk through it and it says owned, installed, owned, installed, owned. And I was like, it's just, until they added like everything else to it with the first party stuff, that was the point where I was like, okay, now it's worth it for us to get it because there's going to be shit in there we don't have for a change.
I think I will still end up buying like one Microsoft game a year though, and that's going to be Forza. Yeah. I need my Forza Steelbook. I need my VIP pass and my season pass. I will still buy the Ultimate Edition of Forza every year. I don't give a fuck.
I am still planning to buy State of Decay because I've been waiting for it for so long. And instead of buying Game Pass for myself, I plan to gift it to some of my friends so they will play State of Decay with me.
Nice. Yeah, I was considering buying State of Decay, and then I heard it's a $60 game. I'm like, I don't know.
I'm okay.
I'll have Game Pass.
I feel like I kind of owe it to Undead Labs because I bought the first State of Decay for 99 cents.
Oh, well, there you go.
And I go out all the DLC for it for like another $2 a year later.
Nice.
And so I feel so bad that I paid so little for the first one. And then to top it off, when they first announced the State of Decay shop on Microsoft, they did a stream on Facebook and Twitch and all that, and they gave away their prototype gear for that shop.
Wow.
I have the one-of-the-kind Bronto gas sign because I want it.
That's pretty cool.
The Bronto gas signs sell on their website for $75 because they're metal. They're legit big metal signs. And I kind of feel like I owe them at least $60 for State of Decay too.
Oh, there you go.
Because I've won a lot of shit from them. I won that, but I also won like a couple other smaller giveaways too. So that's not the only.
Shocking that you won giveaways. Shocking.
It's not the only thing that I have.
Yeah,
have won
we were talking about
pay back a little.
We were talking about PlayStation Plus though. We should probably get back to that.
We should.
But
it's so fun to talk about.
I know. Later. There is another little added bonus for PlayStation Plus members. From March 13th through April 10th, there will be a Dungeon Defenders 2 pack available that will include 4 costumes, 4 campaign shard packs, some defender packs, a Ninja Gato pet, and 1 million gold for the game. So I wish Xbox did shit like that.
Yeah,
we don't get enough cool mini perks like that. PlayStation is, they're doing the right thing there. But not all good news for PlayStation Plus fans. There's some bad news. Starting March 8th of next year, 2019, PS3 and PS Vita games will no longer be a part of PlayStation Plus's monthly game offerings. Yeah, so if you are still someone who only owns a PS3 and Vita, first, why? Yeah, there's new systems out. Even if you hate Xbox, grab a PS4. There's good shit on there. If I think, it's still a full year away, but I think this all but confirms the death of the Vita at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, we all kind of knew it anyway, but this just nail in the coffin.
Can I just be brutally honest that I forgot the Vita was a thing until I joined this podcast? I was just like, what? Oh, yeah, those.
That is a thing.
Still exist. Like, it was a thing that had completely poofed from my brain. It was just didn't even exist anymore.
Nice. I mean,
I live in my own headcanon.
To be fair with the whole removing PS3 and Vita stuff, if this means that they're just going to do 6 PS4 games a month, rock on. I think that
I feel like that's
still
incredibly unlikely.
true. But I mean, look at this month the way it is. Out of 6 games, Legend of K is the only one that isn't going to be available on PS4.
Yeah.
Everything else is either, the PS4 game or it's cross-buy and on PS4. So I don't know. We'll see in a year. We'll see what happens.
I think the extra nail in the coffin there is that they don't have backward compatibility.
Yeah.
Other than,
I don't think that's ever going to change, though. But
no.
Couple other little news bits of the week. Super Lucky's Tale got new DLC this week. That seemed kind of out of nowhere, huh?
Mm-hmm. And it's supposedly not very expensive.
$5.
Yeah.
$5, 500 gamer score, too. So there's some cheap G's if you need them. And considering it just got added to Game Pass, I mean, fuck, great timing, huh?
Right. Just play it on Game Pass and buy the $5 DLC and get all of the achievements and be done.
There you go. See, I thought there was like a door creaking there, and no, it's the cat.
You can hear?
Yes. Because there would be like a 2 or 3 second pause and then just a squeak. And I'm like, oh, is like someone coming in the bathroom and trying to be like, hey, I need to get out of here.
No, I'm in the bedroom.
Wow.
Right.
You got an
I know,
upgrade.
David sent me. He did. I got a desk back here and an office chair, and all I'm missing is a computer.
One day. Some rumors, game rumor news just came out today. The most recent leak is showing that this year's Battlefield is going to be called Battlefield 5 or V. I'm not sure if they're going Roman numeral or the letter V, and that it will be set during World War II. So it looks like they're taking a page out of Call of Duty's playbook. What do you think of that? You're the war fan.
I have mixed feelings about. I'm not a huge Battlefield fan as a thing. Like, I'm good at it, but I don't particularly care for it because I feel like the maps are ginormous and you just spend all your time running around never finding anybody, or you're in the middle of a vehicle battle and you get run over. So I'm not a huge Battlefield fan, but I don't know how I feel about them going back to World War II. Did any of the other ones have World War II? Because I remember Bad Company.
I don't know. I don't play those.
That was more of a modern.
I'm not into the Battlefield Call of Duty scene. I don't know. I don't like competitive shooters because I suck.
Really?
It's like Rocket League. I don't like competitive because I suck.
You did fine.
No, I didn't.
Okay, well, you did moderately acceptable.
Maybe. There's a little bit more game rumor news also with EA. There are reports that Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 3 is in development.
One could only hope.
Indeed. The info comes from a hardcover comic book listing on Amazon that states, quote, Paul Tobin returns to write the official comic book bridge between video games PvZ GW2 and PvZ GW3, with Tim Laddie returning to deliver artwork. Sounds kind of like a pretty legit confirmation to me.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue that one. I hope it's true because I love Garden Warfare.
I mean, I think it was an
shooter.
inevitable thing. It was just going to happen. The series is popular, and I don't even see that as a competitive shooter. It's more, I don't know. It feels different than. It's clearly different than Call of Duty and Battlefield.
It's like baby's first competitive shooter.
Oh, there we go. That's why I like it. I would always do like the Garden Warfare stuff where, someone's the plants, the other's the zombies, and you have to take over like the 6 different areas instead of deathmatch. I'm not into the deathmatch thing.
Nothing is better than like number 3 when she gets a kill and she gets so excited. And she'll like put the controller down and jump up and start dancing around the room. I got a kill. She's ridiculous. She's been playing Plants vs. Zombies since she was like 3.
Oh, Lord.
Because I'm a questionable parent.
Proud of you.
She's probably got a better KD than some of our listeners.
Oh, shit. Anyway.
She might even have a better KD than one of our hosts.
Oh, guaranteed. Absolutely guaranteed. But you mentioned listeners. We actually have to do something with our listeners right now. We got a contest.
What?
Yay, an email contest I sent out earlier today. So people only had 5 hours for this. I said, tell us why you wanted this game, the game Fumiko. Tell us why you want it.
Ooh.
We pick our favorites, and let's see, we have 3 codes for it. So 3 codes, 6 entries. Not bad for only 5 hours, huh?
That is really good for like a flash giveaway. It's like, surprise, motherfuckers.
Yeah, I figure, PlayStation does their flash sales, Amazon does flash sales, or their lightning deals. Fuck, I could do a flash giveaway. But first email comes from Jacob Garner. That name's kind of familiar, huh? He says, I want to win it because holy crap, that game looks crazy. Visually reminds me a lot of Rez. And apparently it's based on an anime I used to watch back in high school. The game looks like an amazing experience more than anything, and I'd love to check it out. Rez and anime. Next one is from Billy P, who says, I heard this game is inspired by Serial Experiments Lane, which was one of the first anime I watched when I attempted to get into anime back in the day. Unfortunately, anime isn't for me, but Serial Experiments Lane definitely stood out, and a game inspired by it sounds cool to me. I've only looked at a couple of screenshots currently, and it looks like a unique experience. I'm trying to limit myself from what I see so I could go in and be surprised by everything. As much as I want to play it, though, it appears it's not available in the UK, so I guess I'm just going to have to try to win it, from you preferably. But if not, hopefully the developer can bring it to the UK marketplace at some point. Thank you for the chance. Billy, can't buy it. Next one, Oroto Tomato, so this one should be a good one. Oh, hi, SML. I let Tommy Wiseau type this, okay? He says he likes the game. Sorry, I just watched The Disaster Artist, and I've been impersonating Tommy for the last hour. Even ordered a pizza, pretending to be him. Besides that, I want to hear SML man doing the Tommy voice. You're tearing me apart, Oroto. oh, hi, email. Fumiko reminds me of an episode of Code Lyoko for some reason. I never watched that.
I'm not familiar with
some
that.
Kid anime-ish thing. I don't know. And also that Scooby-Doo movie where they go inside of a computer and shit. Did you notice every Scooby-Doo villain is a fucking idiot who wants money or status and makes the most stupid plan possible that always involves him putting on a mask or makeup and scaring people? They're so stupid that even Kiss, yes, the band, can stop them. Heck, forget that. Even Vince McMahon can stop them. They made 2 crossover movies with him. Not even kidding. And I know that because I've seen one of them and I knew the other existed.
Wow.
Because I like my wrestles. Anyways, what the how's your sex life? Really? Says anyway. Oh, God. Yeah. From the room. Anyway, how's your sex life? The game is very unusual. I know I compared it to some cartoons before, but I struggle to find anything quite like it in the gaming space. How many times can you say that about a video game nowadays? Everything is similar to everything else. Even you gotta give this a shot. I watch gameplay videos and I still don't know what I'm looking at, and that's a good thing. Remember the Rebel Base? If you get that reference, I will personally email you some pizza rolls. No, I don't. I'm gonna guess Star Wars something, but
I want some pizza rolls just the same.
So how do you sum that up? Jesus. Cartoons, pizza rolls, and Tommy Wiseau. What the fuck? We got some crazy entries today. Next email from Daniel McCammon, who says, first, I wasn't super aware of the game, but after looking at reviews and trailers, Fumiko seems like a game I'd really enjoy. Great visuals, great sound, sci-fi thriller with puzzles. Yes, please. Thanks for the opportunity. Oh my God, a normal entry. Thinks it looks good. That's the kind of fun entries we get. Next
I don't know whether to be like bonus points or negative points because it was... I'm confused. I
don't know. Anyway, next one from just Kim, who says, I think I should win because I've had severe brain seizures. Jesus Christ, that's a hell of a way to start an email. I've been hospitalized 4 times since Thanksgiving. After my latest release in early January, I couldn't remember how to use a microwave, use my Xbox controller, or heck, even turn on my Xbox. It is the first day I've been able to concentrate enough to play the Xbox. I'm working on Brothers right now. And then 2 quotes. Your marriage is in trouble if she says you're only interested in one thing and you can't remember what it is, from Milton Berle. And then one who has a clear conscience has a foggy memory. Says, I don't know who to credit that to, but I have a clear conscience. So, I don't know.
I'm worried about giving a game like Fumiko to somebody that's having seizures.
Yeah, that's a trippy looking game. Could that?
Fumiko it's pretty light, light heavy.
I wonder if I have something else I could send to Kim instead of Fumiko. Just because, like, I want to give them something. Because,
I just wouldn't recommend Fumiko.
Yeah. All right, we'll figure this out later on.
We'll find something, but
we'll figure this out later on. Kim, you're not going to win Fumiko. We are going to get you something though. We're gonna hook you up with something that hopefully won't, break your brain too much. But one final entry from John Harvey, who says, short and sweet this time, Joe, because it's like 1:30 in the morning here. We're on the 3rd day of an unseasonably huge snowstorm, and that 5-hour time frame you set is nearly up. I didn't know this game must have passed me by, so I had to do a YouTube search for it. I mean, you could have listened to the show. We reviewed it.
I did.
You know what it reminds me of? The Lawnmower Man. When I was a kid, that's what we imagined the internet would be like in the far-off future of 2018. It has that style. You know the one I mean? Like the world was created using the old Nintendo FX chip. It's a 90s sci-fi movie depiction of VR and surfing the web. Loads of polygons and geometric shapes with bright neon colors. Words and faces appear in the air while your avatar floaty jumps from place to place. Buck knows what the story is about. It looks like you're an AI in some sort of virtual world and that you've lost your memories, but I could be wrong. The game looks like a weird one, kind of makes me want to play it. So I'd appreciate a copy if one's going spare. Always willing to play something new. So thanks for the chance and good luck, y'all. Snowstorms. All right, so we got, I'm just going to say 5 entries because Kim, I don't want to break you, but Jacob says Resin Anime, Billy because he can't buy it, Aroto because of Tommy Wiseau, Daniel thinks it looks good, and John has a snowstorm he's dealing with.
Okay, so Jacob and who was the second one? Billy?
Billy. I want to give Billy one because you can't buy it, so we'll hook you up.
Well, I wanted to give them bonus points because they both recognized the anime that it was based on. So I'm sure they probably Googled it before they emailed, and that's fine because they at least mentioned it, so I'll roll with it.
Well, but they did recognize. I know Jacob's an anime nerd, so I'm pretty sure he actually saw it.
He's probably gonna enjoy it, but
All right, so Jacob and Billy are each getting one. We got one more. Aroto had the cartoons, pizza rolls, and oh hi doggy. Daniel thinks it looks good, and John with the whole. It looks like the Lawnmower Man.
It's been so insane. I don't know. Like, I want to award points for simplicity this time. Just as like everybody else was so, I don't know, like just crashed in your face with the emails. Like maybe let's go for simplicity. I mean, my brain is broken just trying to process what we've gone through here.
Fuck it, why not? So Jacob, Billy, Daniel, you are the 3 winners. Aroto and John, yeah, you win a lot anyway, so good luck next time. Yeah. And Kim, again, we will get you something. But
well, surely to goodness, there is a code in your email somewhere that will work.
Something, hopefully. We'll figure it out. But we do have some reviews we got to tackle. It's going to be the usual mix of us doing some and then some pre-recorded shit. I figure I'll just mention it now.
We don't record shit. What are you talking about? We do all this straight one shot.
That's why you just disappear for 6 reviews in the middle, right?
It's a thing.
You had to go to the bathroom.
Yep.
Oh, wait, no, you're going to have to go to the...
I'm a busy parent, and sometimes I have to adult and put down the phone. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Sounds good. But we're going to start the reviews with Kingdom Come Deliverance, developed by Warhorse Studios, published by Deep Silver. Released February 13th on Xbox One, PC, and PS4 for $59.99. Kingdom Come Deliverance is a story-driven open-world RPG that immerses you in an epic adventure in the Holy Roman Empire. Avenge your parents' death as you battle invading forces, go on game-changing quests, and make influential choices. This game is fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I have poured way too much time into this game. Way too much time. It is basic. If you listen to our interview with Rick at Warhorse, he pretty much went over that this is an open world RPG based in reality. There's no crazy magical spells. You don't make potions that are going to magically heal you instantly. There's no dragons or monsters. This is very much based in reality. If gameplay wise, it feels very much along the lines of standard open world RPGs. You'll get the Skyrim vibe from it, obviously. You know, traveling town to town, doing quests, doing, pillaging and murdering what you got to murder. It's just a lot harder because it's a lot more realistic. Like, if you get hurt in this game, you can't just eat 40 apples and immediately you're healed. You got to get it taken care of for real. Yeah.
You can't just like eat on a whim to like lighten your load or anything either, because you'll get full.
Yeah.
And then he just straight up won't eat if he's plus if you're overstuffed, it slows you down. You can't run as fast.
I know you played a lot of this game too, because you covered it for XGR. So I'm going to make you talk a bit because my voice is going already. So what did you think of this game?
I loved it. I did. I'm not usually one to fall into the whole open world RPG thing. Like, I didn't play Skyrim. I didn't care.
Really? Never?
I never played it. We had it too, and I was just like, okay, well, that's the thing I watch my husband play sometimes before I fall asleep. But I wasn't really into it. So it was a big deal that I was actually into this one. And the amount of things there were to do just kind of blew my mind, because I didn't expect that going into it. You think, okay, well, it's 1403 and there's only so much you can do in the year 1403, but there's really a lot of shit in the game to keep you busy.
And it's one of those games where you don't even have to fuck with the actual game. You could just live a normal life if you really wanted to.
Yeah. Like, you can get a job and just go to work every day and, come home and build your skills up and never do anything else. Just romance you a good old fashioned barmaid and call it a day. If that's how you want to play it, the game is okay with that.
It's The Sims 1403.
Yeah. And it's true though, because you have to pay attention to things like when he's hungry, and you have to pay attention to his health and when he's tired, and you have to manage right down to like his body odor will affect how the other people approach him and take him seriously and stuff. You have to go get a bath every now and then if you're going to do shit worthwhile.
Mm-hmm. It is ridiculous how in-depth this game is. And that does lead to some of my gripes. First off, for some people, this game is just too in-depth. I personally could do without the survival stuff, like managing your food, managing hunger, managing, how tired you are and all of that stuff. I understand the people who enjoy survival games, and I know you're a fan of survival games, but that stuff just never really clicks with me as much. I didn't mind it in this game because it's just so damn good, but it, I don't know. I've never been a huge fan of the survival stuff. So that didn't necessarily click with me again.
I think they did a good job of implementing it though, to where it wasn't like an overbearing concept.
True.
Like, you could function for a while without needing to sleep unless you got your ass handed to you in a battle.
Yeah. And then my other real gripe with the game is this has been covered fairly widely by every outlet out there. The game's pretty glitchy. It is.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if any of that had been patched, but I had quite a few issues.
They're not even just like, glitches in the game, but like glitches with physics where, there's a section early in the game where you have to ride a horse and run away from the one town that, where you grew up, and it was attacked by, I don't want to go into it too much, although they kind of mention it in the write-up of your parents' death, which, spoilers, that's the prologue. On the horse riding part, it seemed when I would open up the map to check, am I going in the right direction? What am I doing here? When I would go back, I wasn't facing forward anymore. Like, for some reason, I was turned halfway looking behind me, and I'm trying to steer the horse, but because the horse moves independently of where you're looking, like, I wound up in a river, and then I ended up, there were some trees around me. I couldn't get through the trees. I tried turning around, and all these guards were right behind me, shooting me with arrows. I couldn't get around them. Even weird shit like I got stuck inside a fence.
Oh, geez.
Like, I tried to jump over the fence with my horse, trying to get away from these guys, and I was just stuck in it. And then I just kind of like clipped through it and started running again. It's definitely got glitches and bugs and issues, but in a game this size, it's kind of expected. Look at every Bethesda game ever for the most part.
One of the biggest glitches that I encountered is that some quests will require you to meet people at certain times. In particular, I had to meet a bailiff at 7 a.m. There's no real like mini map on your HUD, but you do have like a compass and there's points of interest marked on the compass. They don't tell you though if the person you're looking for is on like the first or second floor, or if they're behind a locked door or anything like that. I sat outside that bailiff's building for a very long time. And he never showed up, and the door never became open until it was time for him to leave that day. I sat there that long.
Oh my God.
Was supposed to meet him at 7 a.m. and I caught him when he came out of the building at dark.
Good Lord.
And so then like I was finally able to talk to him like I was supposed to. And then of course he's pissed because I wasn't there when I was supposed to be. But he was just glitched behind this locked door, and there wasn't anything I could do about it. And then he had a side quest, but because he was pissed I wasn't there, he wouldn't give it to me.
Yeah.
So that is one of those, like, just monumental quirks. You're just like, well, if I was trying to get the achievement for every quest, right there, it would have went out the window.
Is there an achievement for every quest?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Do everything. And that's the thing, like, you can fuck up monumentally if you're supposed to be somewhere to help somebody and they die before you get there. There goes your achievement. You ain't getting that quest.
Yeah. It's a punishing game. Even some of the most basic stuff, like, again, that horse chase scene that I was talking about, I think I died on that
I did.
7 or 8 times before I finally got there.
I think I might have capped out at like 3 or 4, but I did die a few times on that one too.
Like, the first time I did it, I didn't even realize that they were going to chase me. I thought it was just like, oh, well, I got to make my way down here. So I like stopped and picked some flowers, and then all of a sudden I'm getting attacked. I'm like, well, fuck, I guess I can't.
Because up until that point, the game is...
Bark.
Damn. The game is very casual. Like, I didn't even realize I was still in the prologue, and I had played for 6 hours already. Yeah. Just because I was just dicking around doing whatever I could do. And then all of a sudden I'm like, I finally complete that chase scene, and then a little bit later the credits scene comes up, and I was just like, I hadn't even started the game yet. What the fuck was I doing?
You were playing the prologue.
It was the whole time. 6 hours I played the prologue.
Yeah. But
that's the thing.
to recap, it is a huge game. It is kind of glitchy, but it's fucking amazing. My verdict, $60 on this. I give it an absolute buy it. If you are into open world RPGs and you're looking for something a little more, I don't want to say like more difficult, but just more intense overall, you are going to love this.
Those cinematic cutscenes are really some of the best I've ever seen too.
Oh yeah.
Like, I was just, normally you have to watch cutscenes that long. You're just kind of like, okay, be done with. Where's the button to let me out of this? No, I was captivated. I wanted to watch these scenes. So
Oh, man.
If nothing else, buy it just for the cutscenes and watch those because they were good.
There you go. So buy the movie and just deal with the gameplay if you're not into video games. But next game to talk about is the story of your life. It is called Immortal Redneck. Developed and published by Crema Games. It released February 27th on Xbox One and PS4 for $19.99. Will also be coming to the Switch. Immortal Redneck is a FPS set in Egypt with roguelike elements. Frantic gameplay, twitch controls, and an arcade-style feel meet randomly generated dungeons, a complete skill tree, permanent death, and 9 classes with different traits. Cole, what did you think of Immortal Redneck?
Have I ever told you I hate the word redneck?
Really?
I do. I know I use it like jokingly, but it's in that whole self-defense kind of way.
Oh, God.
Like if I say I'm a redneck, then other people won't be as tempted to do because they won't think it'll bother me.
Oh, God.
I hate the term redneck, though. I really do. And so when everybody started, it was like, oh, the Immortal Redneck's coming to Xbox. I'm like, oh, good God. Like if I rolled my eyes any harder, they'd be snowballs in another country by now. Like, just not looking forward to this. And yet somehow I was pleasantly surprised by it all the same. I like roguelike games, and that's what this is. If you die, that's it. You start over. I like the challenge of those, which is funny because I'm like normally hard games. I'm like, oh God, no, please. Please give me a walking sim and let's get out of here. But I really, really enjoyed myself with this. The whole concept is an American tourist wrecks his buggy in Egypt and then wakes up and he's been mummified and he has to work his way through these pyramids to uncover the conspiracy that led to where he's at. He dies, so he's not technically immortal, but he comes back, so he's immortal. When you die in the game, you go back to like this hub world and come out of the sarcophagus. And this little hub world area is actually one of the things that sets Immortal Redneck apart from a lot of the other roguelites we see, because you can use the gold you earned on your run to upgrade your skills. You can get better health. You can unlock new characters. You can just beef yourself up, and then that makes your next run a little easier, and you might make it a little further.
Nice. So basically, play, improve, get further, repeat.
Basically, yes. And yet somehow, like you would think that kind of gameplay loop would get boring, but because the pyramids are randomly generated and the enemies and what drops and the scrolls, which are the modifiers, are all random. So you never know what you're going to get when you go into these pyramids each time. It's a really neat way to keep things fresh, and you don't like tire out really quickly. Like, oh my God, I've got to go back into the pyramid for the 74th time. You're like, okay, this time I'm going to get to the fucking apex and roll with it. Speaking of the apex, that's another way that Immortal Redneck is different from other roguelites. Typically, they'll start with smaller floors with smaller rooms, if you will. And then as you progress, the rooms get larger, and so do the floors, with more rooms to explore. In Immortal Redneck, since it's a pyramid that you are exploring, it's the opposite of that. The beginning floors, the rooms are really large. They're kind of sparsely filled, though. There's not a whole lot of enemies. But as you progress and you move up through the floors of the pyramid, the rooms and the floors themselves gradually get smaller. This also cuts down on, the chance of getting chests and loot and extra scrolls and stuff as you progress. So it kind of makes the game a little harder. And the rooms, even though they're smaller, they're packed with more enemies. Yeah. So you can walk into a room that will really fuck your world. There are 3 pyramids, and you have to go through all 3 of them to beat the game. I believe there's 7 floors per pyramid. And there's a mini boss and a boss per pyramid. The bosses in the first pyramid are they're not really anything that's going to shake up your world. Like, they have a little bit of gameplay to them in that, like, for the Pharaoh, you have to shoot the sarcophaguses before you can shoot him. Whereas the bosses in the later pyramids, it's just go in and shoot and be done. They're not really going to blow your mind or make you do anything crazy.
Yeah.
However, you have all kinds of different classes and stuff. So again, you're shaking up your gameplay. Like if you're choosing different characters, there's 9 classes and 9 loadouts. So if you're like changing up your gameplay and trying out the different characters, you're not really going to mind that you're just going in and shooting one boss. You're just like, look, I finally fucking did it. Get out of here.
So overall, the game sounds absolutely insane. It seems everyone that I've talked to about this game has just raved about how crazy it is. And hasn't Shiz been like basically addicted to it?
Yeah. Yeah, he's very much in love.
Nice. So I got to know, $20, what is your verdict on this?
Despite my reservations about a game called Immortal Redneck, I do very much give it a buy it because it is a lot of fun.
Would you have preferred if it was called Immortal Honky?
No, and it would have been worse if it was like Immortal Hillbilly.
Immortal Cracka-ass Cracka.
So it couldn't have been. Why did it have to be? Why couldn't it be like an immortal truck driver? Because he looks like a truck driver. You could have just left it at that.
Let's
Immortal
be fair,
farmer,
most truck drivers are rednecks.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Anyway, next game to talk about is called Moss, developed and published by PolyArt Games, released February 27th on PlayStation VR for $29.99. In Moss, players meet Quill, a young mouse with dreams of greatness beyond the confines of her settlement. While exploring the woods, she finds a mysterious piece of glass and an ancient magic is awakened. With her uncle now in grave danger, Quill must embark on an epic journey, and she needs you there by her side. And pretty much literally, because this is PlayStation VR, the way this game works is you are a reader who is reading a book, a tale of Quill and the story that's going on. And then in between reading bits, you will then go into the world and you are basically watching Quill go through her journey, and you're also controlling the journey. So it is a third-person action adventure hack and slash, and you're the camera, which is nifty. This, first off, game is gorgeous. This is a beautiful, beautiful game. Art design is fantastic. The animation is incredible. I love the animations in this game. If you listen to a couple of episodes, we actually had one of the guys from PolyArt on the show talking about it. So if you haven't heard it, go back and check that one out. Gameplay is basically your standard, hack and slash action adventure. Go through a room, solve some, there's going to be some environment puzzles. You're going to have to take care of some riddle style. I don't know how to put it. Like some of those puzzles I was playing today were pretty brain bendy. Because I streamed Moss earlier. If you want to watch me struggle with a VR game, hit up our Twitch channel and look at the VODs, because there's 2 hours of me playing that earlier. But it's just a lot of fun. It doesn't do anything world changing except for pretty much being VR, which I've never really thought of playing an action adventure in VR. But after playing it, this really does feel like one of those times that validates what VR is. It's not just like, oh, I'm going to play tennis, or, oh, I'm going to, do a job simulator kind of thing. Like, it felt like this is a legitimate game in VR. That's how I felt about playing it.
That's how I felt just watching it. Because like you said, when I think of VR, I think of like really mundane shit, like tennis and I don't know,
like motion control gimmicks and everything else. And
roller coasters.
This didn't rely on any real gimmicks. The only gimmick that you can really think about in this would be the few times that, you kind of have to get up and move around the world and kind of get a different angle on the puzzle, especially if you want to find the collectibles. Holy shit. There are some really well hidden collectibles in this game.
Yeah.
I would find one by accident and I would just be like, oh, you sons of bitches. Those devious bastards just hiding those in crazy, crazy spots. Story was great, enjoyable. The voice acting in it was well done. I don't have any gripes at all with the game. I really don't.
That's a good thing.
Legitimately, the only gripe I have is with the PlayStation VR. Every time I cover a PSVR game on this show, I will always find a way to bitch about the tracking. And it just, you watch the stream, you would see every now and then like this, it would just start drifting to the side.
Yeah, I noticed it.
I have that in basically every game. I don't know if I need to try moving the camera to a different spot. It's like nearly everything tells you have it above the TV. And then when Moss started, it's like, put it below the TV. I'm like, fuck no, there's no way I'm getting it down there. I have so much shit. I'm not moving all that around, but, it just, the tracking is always going to be an issue in my eyes with PSVR games. And I hope that this can make it to some other VR platforms that have, things like the whole room setup with Vive or Oculus, whatever they do, where they have multiple cameras set up to get a better read on you and your positioning and everything else. Yeah. I want to see this done with better tech than what PSVR is, because as cool as PlayStation VR is, it has such old tech with it, with the Move controllers, which, to be fair, the Move controllers aren't used in this game. You're just using a steering controller. But even just the camera, it's just a basic shitty webcam. It doesn't do anything. It's just, But yeah, the game, damn near perfection. If you have a PlayStation VR, this is absolute must own. I think when SML 400 rolls around, we might have a new Hall of Fame inductee with this one.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, because this one, is, like I said, it is as close to PSVR perfection as I have seen. And we've covered a lot of VR stuff on this show.
Yeah. But just from what I've seen, it's gorgeous.
Oh my God, it is so good. And I played it even long, because obviously, I only did 2 hours on stream. Played even longer off stream after I took care of my phone call, and oh my God, shit gets tough too. But it is just so, it's rewarding to play it. It feels right. It feels good. But we're gonna jump over to our pre-recorded reviews that I still don't know how to segue into. So go me. All right, next game to talk about is called Mulaka, developed and published by Lienzo, released February 27th on Steam and PS4, March 1st on the Switch, March 2nd on Xbox One, all for $19.99. Dive into northern Mexico's breathtaking landscapes with Mulaka, a 3D action-adventure game based on the rich indigenous culture of the Tarahumara. I hope I said that right. But covering this one, Jacob Garner, welcome back. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. How about you?
I'm putting up with you.
Oh, damn it.
This is what I miss about having someone I'm good friends with on the show, because I could bust your balls like crazy, and it's fun. And we all laugh.
Fun for you.
Yeah, and then you cry, and then I laugh more.
Well, yeah, after I go, I go in my dark, deep pit of despair.
Oh, whatever. I bought you a headset. Shut up. So tell me about Mulaka. What is this game?
So it is an action-adventure game, very much in the vein of, I put it towards that 2008 Prince of Persia reboot that, like, absolutely nobody enjoyed. And other stuff like Okami, stuff like that. It's a really well-done game. I mean, the graphics are a little rough at times and gameplay is a little hinky, but everything is just so immersive. Like, the music is great. They have all these characters from, what's the Mexican tribe's name again? It's like
Tarahumara? Tarahumara?
Yeah.
I'm sure I'm pronouncing it wrong.
Like, they have art that's done in their style. Like, the game's just really beautiful, and it's a joy to look at. It's a joy to play. And if you want to learn more about like the different like bad characters and stuff like that, you can. It's really neat. I was really pleased with this game. And one of the things that I thought was really cool was that when I was looking over the game's website, they say that part of the proceeds of the game actually go to help preserve the tribe's land and their culture.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's one of those games where you'll definitely, you get a good game to play, but you also get that good feeling that, you're helping.
Yeah.
Yay.
Always good to be a productive member of society for once, right?
Yeah.
You mentioned the visuals. I do enjoy the visuals in this game. I can definitely understand some people are going to be turned off by it. It's very, very stylistic in, I don't know, polygonal in some areas.
Yeah. It's very rough at times. Almost reminds me of, my dog is, playing with a squeaky toy right now. So
fun. It's not like we're doing anything important here, Jacob.
Well, I know, but I'm like, because I know it's going to carry on to the damn podcast. So I'm trying to get. Oh my god! I hate life. You know what? I'm just gonna have to go into the kitchen and hope it doesn't carry.
Oh my lord! But yeah, I know their previous game, Hunter's Legacy, had a very unique. That was like a more sketch hand-drawn style, so it seems like they're trying to stand out with their games and not look like everything else, which I enjoy. Again, some people are going to see it and be like,
everything's really unique about it,
which is good. It's good to see games do something different.
Yeah. Now, I mean, the gameplay is fairly basic, but I mean, that's also pretty cool too, because it's definitely one that anybody can like pick up and play. I mean, you have basic attacks, you have spells that you can use. One of the neat things is that later on in the game, you can change it into animal forms, which can help you reach other places.
Nice.
And of course, as you gain new powers, you have to go back and visit other areas, so then you can access areas that were previously unavailable to you, which is pretty standard for the genre, but it gives you a lot more to do within the game. It's not as straightforward as it would appear to be.
Which is good. Keeps you busy. Keeps you moving around.
Yeah.
How long do you think the game is? I'm not sure how far in you got, but...
I got fairly far in, but I also did a lot of grinding, so
we can't properly judge it. I'm terrible at that too. Everyone's like, oh, how long is this RPG? I'm like, are you really asking me how long an RPG is? Because I grind. I enjoy a grind. I can just do it mindlessly while I'm editing or doing other shit. So, but it's meaty in size.
I was trying to get all the different powers and stuff like that. And, well, actually, this leads into one of my problems. So one of the boss fights, I actually was having a really hard time figuring out how the heck to beat it, because there is a guy who kind of gives, he gives vaguely helpful hints. And so what I ended up having to do is I ended up going online, because I think this got released on Steam, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or like previously. And so I had to go on there, figure out how, look at that, see how to actually beat the boss, and then go back and do it.
But until it launched on Steam this week, the 27th.
Well, yeah, I did this last night, so.
You're a moron.
Well, anyway. So I had to go on and look for the instructions on how to beat this thing. And, oh crud, where was I going with this?
I don't know. One of your gripes, or one of your issues. Oh my god, you're bad at this.
It's just, yeah, I know I'm really bad at this. Okay, so anyways, it wasn't explaining on how to beat the boss. And so what I was doing in the meantime is that I was grinding, so I could earn up all these powers and stuff like that. And it turns out I actually didn't need to get all these powers that you can purchase by defeating enemies. So I ended up doing a lot of grinding that, the game encourages you to do, but it wasn't exactly necessary. So I don't know. I just wish that the game would be more helpful with its hints, if anything, because some of the boss fights are just like, they feel absolutely impossible, and it's just like you go from one arena to another arena and another arena, and you don't really get a break. So,
but if that is your only gripe with the game, it doesn't sound that bad.
No, actually, yeah, that that pretty much was my only gripe. I wish it included a game guide.
Oh, God. You are awful at video games. So $20 on this one. What is your verdict on Mulaka?
Totally worth it. Definitely buy it. It's one of the best that I've had to review for the podcast.
And to be fair, most of the games you cover are mobile. So
all right.
not to discount Mulaka at all, because, again, their Hunter's Legacy was awesome. I love that one. I've been looking forward to Mulaka for a while, but... Yeah. You just recently got an Xbox One, so you haven't had the cream of the crop for the show yet. But we're getting you there. We're getting you there.
It's definitely one of my favorite games that I've reviewed for the show.
Cool.
So.
All right. Well, next game to talk about is called Beyond the Invisible Darkness Came, developed and published by Graphium Studio, released March 1st on Steam for $15.99. Beyond the Invisible Darkness Came is a hidden object adventure game set in a mysterious town where people strangely disappear as it gets dark. Take on the role of a dauntless detective to solve puzzles, veiling the secrecy kept by the inhabitants of this creepy location. Our friend Dark Mika covered this one and sent in a review, so I'm going to read it while you fuck around with your dog trying to get a squeaky toy.
Well, you stopped doing it, so hooray.
Anyway, she says, Beyond the Invisible, Darkness Came is a point-and-click and hidden object puzzle game. You play as a detective who, driving along for reasons I forgot because it's mentioned at the start never again, you arrive outside of town and crash your car because of death, which is called shadows in the game. After that, you're trying to figure out what the hell is going on in this tiny, sleepy town. Graphics are generally really good. Everything seems to be hand-drawn, including the characters' faces, which are gorgeous. There's a good amount of detail in the environment, be it from looking at the ground to houses, or even piles of stuff for hidden object areas. However, animations are less than stellar. When objects move, they're pretty stiff feeling, though thankfully there's very few of these instances in the game. The hidden object puzzles are easy for the most part, but some require logic puzzling to find codes during the puzzles. That sentence didn't make sense to me at all. There's a hint ability that solves some of the hidden object stuff. The hints also point you where you need to go, going as far as to bring you to the area and sometimes even walk you through some of what you need to do to solve a puzzle. This was a lot more than I thought it was going to do based on previous games I've played like this in the Artifex Mundi line. These puzzles are usually easy, but they require a lot of back and forth between the various areas. You're given a map to instantly teleport to the different areas, but there's a bunch of them, so knowing where to go is sometimes a pain. Also, some of the objects you need to find for these puzzles don't stick out much, making it hard to find them. You're also not told what you need to do most of the time, which just makes it a little bit harder. And, Jacob, you just have to keep making noise over there, don't you?
Oh, sorry.
You asshole. The voice acting and writing is mostly positive, but still a mixed bag. Most of the time the voice actors sound right, but sometimes things they say are a bit off. Same could be said for the writing. Most of the game is perfect, but occasionally it goes straight to hell, making some things hard to understand. Editor's note, kind of like your review sometimes, Dark Mika. But again, most of the time everything is fine. Just the few times it goes bad, it's really bad. The story, thankfully, though, is solid. It's easy to follow and makes sense. To top that, the voice actors have a lot of emotion in their voices, even if the things they say aren't always correctly said. You know, like my English. She said it, not me, so she agrees. The main campaign will take you about 3 to 4 hours on your first try, maybe more if you choose not to use hints. It took me 3 hours to beat, but I had to use hints on a regular basis because I didn't know what I needed to do, or I couldn't find objects. However, there is also a bonus campaign you can play, which will take about an hour to beat. Provides a bit of extra story for what happened immediately after the main campaign. The only major issue with the game is the UI is finicky sometimes. Some areas are hard to move around in, and some inventory items don't have very good interactions. Both of these issues are really fucking annoying. Thankfully, there's a patch in the works that should shore that up, though. For $16, I'm in between. I like the game and the story is good as far as stories in these games tend to be, but the UI issues, even though there are a few, are highly annoying. This is at least a try it, and I lean towards a full-on buy it if they fix the UI annoyances, but even if they don't, it's still a damn good game. It's a bit harder than the Artifex Mundi games, which everyone will compare this to. And honest, I prefer how this company does faces more than Artifex does theirs. Artifex Mundi faces usually creep me out, but the games are fantastic. This game fixes that issue for me, and it's still a great story, so I am all for it. Sounds good. Thank you, Dark Mika, for sending that in. And now back to fucking Jacob with Rift Star Raiders.
Fucking Jacob. Oh my god, did my dog seriously just start squeaking it again now that I'm going to have to talk?
Sweet. But yeah, Rift Star Raiders, developed by Climax Studios, published by Vision Games, released February 27th on Xbox One, PS4, and Steam for $19.99. You and up to 3 friends take on the roles of rogue pilots who will accept any type of mission as long as there's cash on the table, no questions asked. Together you'll be swept up in an interstellar war between 4 factions across 9 missions, become the best that the Far Reach has ever known. Jacob, tell me about Rift Star Raiders.
Well, it's an outer space twin stick shooter. Think of it, first off, it's very difficult. Very much reminding me of the Mercenary Kings that we had to review last time that I was on the show.
Mm-hmm.
There is a single player campaign to it with a prologue that I still have yet to beat because, holy God, the game is hard as hell.
We should probably explain why you haven't done the tutorial. The first time that you played this, you actually played with me. We also played with Carnage and Bills, and the 4 of us just went through a couple of the missions in the main campaign. When we started, both of us, it was our first time playing, so we tried to do the tutorial or the prologue mission. I got through it, and then you jumped on, and you just kept dying, and the other 3 of us just said, fuck it, let's just play together. We could do the prologue together, and then we tried, and you can't do the prologue together. That's got to be a single-player thing. So
yeah,
we went on the missions.
That was kind of weird. But
it's so that you can learn shit, and there's a lot of stuff in there, like the mine section, that if there's 4 people in there, it's gonna be a shit show.
That's fair, but that mine section, if there's 1 person in there, it is a shit show.
It really is.
There's a reason why I still have not beaten the prologue by myself. It's one of those where it's like I almost like want to, like, next time I'm up at your house, just have this list of achievements and just be like, Joe, beat these games for me.
Help me.
So the game is incredibly difficult on single player. Granted, I don't exactly have the most experience in this kind of genre. Like, I mean, I've played plenty of stuff like this before. Especially when I was a kid. I remember playing stuff like Escape Velocity, quite a bit, which is, I mean, that's old school. But multiplayer is really where this game shines, because then at least you can all work together to get through the ridiculous amount of difficulty that this game has. If you and 3 friends are up for the challenge, this is definitely a game to check out. It's a lot of fun, especially when things go to shit.
Oh,
and
God.
everyone's trying to.
It goes to shit frequently. I don't think there was a single mission the 4 of us played, and we went through like 4 or 5 missions in the game, something like that.
Yeah.
There wasn't a single one that we didn't fail.
Oh yeah, yeah. We definitely failed it. Like, I mean, we eventually succeeded on the missions, but like we definitely failed like 2 or 3 times.
Minimum.
Yeah, minimum before we would actually, get through it. And even then, it was just like, you didn't beat the mission, you just survived it.
Pretty much, really, yeah. I mean, I know that I'm awful at games, you're awful at games, Carnage is fucking terrible at games, but even still, like, this is a tough game. This is, I don't know if I want to say like the Dark Souls of twin stick shooters.
The Battletoads of twin stick shooters.
It's rough though. It is stupidly fun. A lot of loot mechanics to it, a lot of ship upgrading stuff in there. So it is replayable. There's plenty of reasons to go back, replay everything, find new items, new difficulties, everything else. But you're gonna die a lot. And you really need to have friends there to die with, because even when you die in the game, you could be resurrected, and even that will not always work, right?
No.
Because it'll be, 3 dead people, about 40 enemies flying around.
Yeah.
And one person.
One guy just tried to drag him to, like, the safest area possible halfway across the map.
Mm-hmm. It was seriously some of the most fun I've had playing an online game in a long time, though. Like, we were laughing our asses off. We had to put, 3 or 4 hours in just that one session that night.
Yeah.
It was insane. And then I played a bit more on my own. I know you played some more on your own. I know Carnage invited me to a couple more games. Like, it's not one of these games that we play, review, and put down. I see myself coming back to this one quite a bit.
Definitely.
And
I mean, it's yeah. It's definitely one of those, you definitely need other people to be playing with you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I mean, granted, the game just became available, so I'm not sure if the game has like an open, you can just play with anybody, or whether you have to start the games yourselves and you can invite who you play with. So I'm hoping that the game gains a decent following, so that there's always people that you can play online with. Because succeeding by yourself, I don't see happening.
I don't know. If you grind enough, maybe. We already covered that we like grinding, so just keep replaying that first mission. Not the prologue, because you're never going to beat it. Just the first actual mission. Play it 40 times, and then upgrade the fuck out of your ship. That's die.
That's a fair assessment, yeah. And dive 39 of those times.
Yes. So overall, $20 on this one. What are your thoughts?
It's definitely I'm going to say yes, but it's also a conditional one. You definitely have to be okay with dying a lot, and you have to be up for a challenge. It's not a simple run and gun. You definitely need to have strategy, and you need to have teamwork. And so if those are the kind of games that you're for, by all means, definitely go for it. It's a definite buy from me in that regard. But if if you're hoping for some simple game, or you're really prone to rage quitting and pissing off your teammates, this might not be the game for you.
Yeah, but I pretty much mostly agree. I give it a very highly recommended try it. The only thing keeping it from a buy it is how the difficulty will scare people off.
Right.
There's going to be gamers who buy this game and 20 minutes later they issue a refund. It's going to happen, because this game is not going to hold your hand, but a lot of other people out there are going to play it and be like, nice, a game that is going to challenge me.
Right.
So I'm excited to see how well it does, and I hope it catches on and there's a solid player base behind it, because I think this could definitely catch on and do really well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it definitely lends itself to either more DLC or sequels and stuff like that. So I'm hoping it definitely goes there, because there were definitely a lot of fun moments in that game. Like, I really enjoyed the part where we were going over the, teetering, around the black holes and stuff like that.
Oh, God. What was that? Level 2 or 3? That was early in the game, too, and, that came out of nowhere.
And it took us, a full 10 minutes, and, the whole time... there was I don't want to say a DOS boot feel to it, but we couldn't move. You didn't want to move, and it was just suspense. As we were just inching along, just to make sure that we didn't accidentally get one of the ships sucked in, which might suck in the rest of us.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah, definitely good stuff. But Jacob, thank you as always for coming on, chatting about these games. I know you'll be back on soon. Do you have any final thoughts to sum up those games?
Definitely give them both a
try. The word is try. Give them a try.
Yeah, thank you. I'm still befuddled that they don't release demos anymore. I mean, it blows my mind that because I'm so used to being on the Xbox 360, and of course it was always just get the demo and you try it out. I mean, most of the time the demos wouldn't lie to you unless you were playing 2 human. And then, I'm going to go off and buy this. This is great. Meanwhile, the Xbox One is just like, all right, buy the game. Because I want to tell people, just download the demo, try it out, see if it works, and you can't. So, yeah, I don't know what to ever say anymore.
I think this one does have a demo, so.
Oh, well, that's well then. Okay.
I'm looking at the store page and it says try for free. So.
Oh, then by all means, try it out. There you go.
I hate you.
I hate me too.
All right, next game to talk about is called Where the Water Tastes Like Wine, developed by Dim Bulb Games and Serenity Forge, published by Good Shepherd Entertainment, formerly known as Gambitious. It released February 28th on Steam for $19.99. Where the Water Tastes Like Wine is about traveling, sharing stories, and surviving manifest destiny. Featuring gorgeous illustration by Kellen Jett, Where the Water Tastes Like Wine combines 2D visuals with a 3D overworld U.S. map. Players wander through the United States and through a century of history to meet a variety of people, each with their own stories to tell. And to tell us the story of this game, Tim Ekubis, how are you doing, sir?
Good. Great. I'm tired. It's been a long week. Already, it's Tuesday as of this recording, and it's been a long week.
Yeah, it feels it. I blame Roman Reigns winning Elimination Chamber. That just, deflates my entire week.
The inevitability of Roman Reigns. It was just it's just,
it's going to be his Blu-ray.
What?
That'll be his Blu-ray title, The Inevitability of Roman Reigns.
The Inevitability of Roman Reigns. God, is that the fucking truth, man? It's just dude couldn't even it's just Braun literally fucking trucks everybody the entire time, and then they get to the end, it's just okay, Roman just hits all of his moves and wins.
Stupid.
That is what I hate the most about Roman Reigns John Cena matches. Is it's not they come up with new clever things to overcome the odds. If Roman Reigns pulled out some new big move, if he fucking did a spear off one of the pods.
Oh God.
Think about that. Think about how dope that might have been, or if or something like that. If they did some huge spear spot like that, it would have been oh fuck, that was crazy. Just nah, he just throws him in the cage a couple times.
And then a couple of punches.
Superman punch, spear, done. It's
stupid.
Man, and that was my same thing when I don't know who he wrestled at some point recently that I thought that same dumb thing. God damn it, who was it? I don't remember. I don't know. It was at some
everyone?
point.
Literally everyone.
It could be literally everyone, but there was just there was a moment in the last year where he had a match, and it was just okay, yeah, I guess he just wins because he's Roman Reigns.
Yeah. So I gotta know, is Where the Water Tastes Like Wine better than Roman Reigns?
Yeah, of course it is. Cool. Oh my gosh.
So let's hear about it. What is this game?
Yeah, this game is really interesting.
The description alone sounded very interesting and unique.
Yeah, so this, it's made by some people that, one of the co-founders of Fulbright, who made Gone Home and more recently made Tacoma. He did not work on Tacoma because they're working on this game. Some folks splintered off and they made Where the Water Tastes Like Wine, which was, I think, initially teased at the Game Awards in 2016 with just a little teaser of someone on the back of a train, and everyone's what is that? And then I literally heard nothing about it until the code came in. I was oh shit, this game. So I was in super blind going into this game. So yeah, this is a game about American folklore and storytelling. And it's real. It's the kind your character, the game opens with you in a card game with this wolf-headed guy who seems totally trustworthy and definitely not some incarnation of some dark evil thing. Especially after he fucks you over and forces you into a horrible deal. A horrible deal where you have to go around and gather stories. So yeah. So
what the hell kind of bet is that?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, it's you go all in on him, and then your cards are magically not a straight flush anymore. And he's well, I guess you lose big time, or he gives you a spot or something. This is not important. It happens in the 5 first. I mean, it's important, but it's not important to discuss. So you lose a bet with the devil, basically, and he sends you on this trip you just go out and you just start. So you start in like Maine, or at least I started in like Maine. I don't know if like they have a randomized starting point or anything like that. And your dude just you start hiking across the United States. So it's like, first thing, I'm hiking down to Boston. Like that's the first big city you run into. But like, along the way, dotting the map, there's like little towns, there's houses, there's other things to go up, and they'll like maybe have like a little bubble over them. You'll walk up to them and you will kind of see something weird, or you will be told something weird. But like, for instance, when you're in Massachusetts somewhere, or Connecticut, up there in New England, you will run into a headless horseman. And you will then say, you then that story of you running into this headless horseman becomes part of your like story repertoire. Or in Boston, I think I had a story where I got into the back of a cab and this dude drove me around and I like saw my future or something like that. So it's like I have this weird story about this magic taxi cab in Boston, and you'll run into other people like along the road, like around campfires is basically what it is. So you'll find a campfire, you'll sit down, there'll be some other traveling vagabond there, and they will want to hear your story. So you'll tell them, they'll be like, oh, I might want a funny story. So you tell them a funny story. They might want to hear like something adventurous or scary or whatever, and you tell them that kind of story. And as you appeal to them more and more, they will tell you more of their personal story. But kind of the trick is there that they then take your stories and start telling them to other people out in the world. So as you're walking around, you might stop to hear a story, and it's the story of the Headless Horseman, except it's been embellished over time as people have told that story, and it eventually turns into, the legend of Ichabod Crane and all that shit.
So it's basically a game of telephone with that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, basically in that sense, yeah. But yeah,
do kids today know what that reference is?
No, no, they don't. No, they don't. Yeah, maybe. Maybe we have cell phones.
Those weird jacks that you have on the wall, kids.
Yeah. They don't know. Those are gone.
No.
So yeah, it's about traveling through America, finding stories, telling stories, hearing these stories back. And when you hear a story back, it becomes more powerful, which sounds silly. But it's like then when you share it with someone that you're sitting down to buy a campfire with, it will make them, open themselves up to you more and faster or whatever.
Yeah.
Basically. So the story becomes more powerful, like the more embellished and grand it becomes. So, and as you're walking around, you got your health you got to keep an eye on. You do have money. Like these are very, like there's like and your sleep. So, and these are just represented by icons that are like, if it's full, you're good on money, health, sleep. If it's getting half full or it's getting empty, you may need to do something about that. I haven't had a consequence of ignoring my health happen. Presumably there will be one if I just wandered the mountains hungry for long enough.
You're just a zombie after a while. You die and you become a zombie, and then you continue telling stories where you're just like,
yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem difficult to like keep your health up. You will run into random, like some like places you'll roll up on, some random encounters you'll have. You will just like, you will get money, you will lose money, you will gain health, you will lose health, you'll get sleep, you'll lose sleep. Like random things, like little choose your own adventure type things. Like if you're like, oh, there's a thing along the road, I'll stop and talk to this person. They'll be like, oh, hey, I need your help, carrying all these boxes around or something like that. And it's like, okay, cool, I do that. And then they throw you some cash. Or you stop in a shed to get out of a storm, but there's a bunch of weird guys in there all huddled around. And if you stay, you will have a horrible night's sleep. And if you leave, maybe you wouldn't have. I don't know, because I decided to stay in the barn with a bunch of weirdos.
Oh God.
So it's a different kind of game.
It sounds like a very narrative heavy experience with just minor survival elements just to have gameplay to it.
Yeah, it is very focused on story and text and just kind of the vibe and feel of the world. Like the people you'll run into around the campfires, that feels like the main event of the game, I guess. is meeting these people. Like each one of their stories is written by a different person. They went out and got different writers for each character just to make them have a different voice, and so they didn't sound all samey.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. So, you want to build up your story repertoire and the strength of your story so you can talk to these people and build up their kind of trust and rapport with you, and then their stories, they tell you their stories and you can tell their stories to other people and blah, blah, blah. That seems to be the main point. And otherwise, you're going around and you're picking up more stories. You're talking to people and hearing your stories back, and those stories are growing in the telling, as they call it. But yeah, and it's a big map. Like I spent 3 hours. In like my first 3 hours of the game, I don't think I crossed the Mississippi yet.
Oh wow!
I just kind of bounced around the East Coast, checking out different cities. Like in each city, you'll pick up a story just by kind of wandering around. You have an opportunity to make money in each city. And there's shops in the city so you can buy food to restore your health or sleep or whatever. And there's also train stations. So you can get around on this map like a few different ways. There's walking, where you can just walk. There is hitchhiking. If you're near a road and a car goes by, the car will pick you up and drive you along a certain ways. There are certain train stops where you can just jump on a train, illegally, mind you, and you might get your ass beat and lose some health at the end of that train. Or you can buy train tickets in cities, and they will take you to certain destinations. But as you walk around, like there is some geography that's impassable. Like you can't just walk over a river. You have to find a crossing to get over the river, or take a train or a car over a bridge or something like that. Like mountains are very high, and you kind of sometimes have to figure your way around them. You can't just Skyrim your way over top.
No, I love the Skyrim reference.
Yeah, of course. Everybody knows. You all know. But the game has, it's got really cool music, like really evocative of kind of an era as you're walking around the overworld. Oh, I forgot to mention whistle walking. So when you're walking, you can walk faster by holding down LB, and it pulls up like like 4 buttons and gives you kind of a little rhythm game to play, and you whistle like a version of one of the songs that's playing on the overworld, and that will make you walk a little faster.
So Dale North automatically hates this game.
I guess, yeah.
He hates whistling.
Hates whistling. Yep.
So I want him to play this now.
Hey, you don't have to whistle walk. You could get around by other means. The only thing that's annoying is you don't necessarily whistle along to the background song that is playing. It might be a completely different song.
Nice.
So you're like whistling one tune, and there's another tune in the background. And it's like, why is it like this? This doesn't seem like the best. I don't know. It probably would have been tough to make it line up exactly, but nah. Whatever. So
I'm hearing like 13 minutes of straight praise on this one. Are there any negatives to this game?
My negative, I mean, obviously, if you are not into text-heavy games, this is not for you. Just obviously, you probably got that. I am not usually into text-heavy adventure games. I've had a complicated relationship with them. I think, like, trying to figure out, like, I tried to go back and get some old point-and-click stuff. I didn't really like that. I kind of fell off the Telltale style of adventure game. But this game reminds me a bit of Kentucky Route Zero, just in how it is so evocative of, like, Americana. This being a bit more, this is, like, Depression era, seems like, for the most part, early 1900s. And you just run into weird stuff, and it's tough to tell kind of exactly like what's going on. Like, is there an overarching story, or is it just it's more about the journey than the end necessarily? And if you press start, there's any point where you can just restart the game and start completely over again if you want to. Like, I don't know, there's like 200 plus different stories to hear and find in the game.
Wow.
And yeah, which is a lot. And last I looked, I was getting close to 100.
Holy shit.
Yeah. It's a lot of stuff. I will say my beef thus far, and this might be just a me thing, is that, the variety of stories I was getting a lot of like spooky stories, like a lot of weird creature, like scary stuff, or like really depressing stuff. And I was not getting a lot of like funny stuff. Like specifically, this was like an annoyance. is I was talking to, people, and they're like, I want to hear a funny story. And I'm like, I don't have shit for funny. How would you like to hear about this weird skeletal deer I found? And they're like, whoa, that's a tall tale, mister. I'm like, I don't have jokes. I have no jokes. Not a fucking funny thing has happened to me on this journey up and down the East Coast. But I have depressing things as the day is long. I got weird creatures. I got ghosts. You asked for that stuff. I have got you covered.
You have more spooky stories than Roman Reigns has moves.
Yeah. That doesn't say much. And, a lot of those spooky stories I was running into, it would be like, oh man, there's this weird, like there feels like a lot of time there's like a lack of consequence in going along with this weird stuff. So I would like push the envelope with like approaching creatures, because you'll get choices sometimes in the middle of these stories. I should say that you have agency as to how you handle situations. And I don't know really how much of an effect that has on the stories necessarily, maybe just more on like you getting health or money or just how it plays out for your own personal entertainment. But it was a lot of like, okay, here's a night, here's some weird things, and it's gone in the morning. And just like, oh, there's these weird ghost children in this hotel. And then you talk to the woman at the front desk, and there was no children in this hotel. Like, oh, man.
Oh, no.
Like a few too many of those. And again, there's 200 some odd stories. So that might have just been a weird roll of the dice for my personal experience. But I will say, like, other than, a lot of other adventure games that I've played, and in particular with the Telltale ones, where it really feels like you want to sit down and you want to play through that whole episode in a sitting. You want to play that whole hour and a half. Like, this is like the most pick up and play for like 15, 20 minutes adventure game ever. Cause and that's how I've been playing it for the most part. Like before I go to do my games for the night, or if I just have like a little bit of time during the day, I come down, play about 20 minutes, check out some stories, maybe do a campfire, conversation, and then out. And that is kind of a level of, and I'll feel satisfied with that play session. Like I got something out of it. Whereas a lot of times in adventure type games, I feel like I have to play for a lengthy period of time to like solve a puzzle, to move the plot forward, to like feel like something has happened. But this has a really strong bite-sized nature of it. And of course, everything these days would be great to have on the Switch.
I was just going to say that.
Hopefully it'll make it there, but it's on PC at the moment, and it's pretty great.
Cool. So $20 on this one. Let's hear the verdict.
Yeah, I think that's a buy if you're into adventure stuff. It's just so unique and interesting. But if you're not into text-heavy games, then meh. But yeah, I give this game high praise. It's very different from other stuff I've played.
Awesome. Sounds good. Well, Tim, thank you as always for coming on chatting about this. Yeah. Any final thoughts to sum up Roman Reigns?
Fucking Roman Reigns, man.
All right, next game to talk about is called War Tile, developed by Playwood Project, published by Deck 13 and Whisper Games. It released February 8th on Steam for $19.99. War Tile is a cool-down-based strategy game in which you control a warband of Viking figurines in a miniature universe inspired by Norse mythology. Unravel its secrets and reign the powers of the gods. Good friend Tom Miller's checking this one out. Tom, how's it going?
Yo, everything is going just fine.
Nice.
It is.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
How's the weather out there?
Gorgeous. It's like
fuck you.
Perfectly like sunny and beautiful, and I'm just having a good old time.
Oh man, because we record this show out of order earlier this week on the first half of the show for Tuesday. It was nice out. It was warm out. We've had like 60s lately. Windows open today. It is now Thursday. Windows open. It's rainy. It's getting cool. Tomorrow night, 10 inches of snow. What the fuck? Why? What the
world is a crazy place. What can I say?
10 it's not like flurries. We're not going to get flurries. We're getting almost a fucking foot of snow. Anyway, how's War Tile?
War Tile's fun.
What is this game? It sounds really interesting.
Yeah, so War Tile, so it describes it as a cooldown based strategy game, and how I would describe that is it's a cross between a typical strategy RPG and like the way like the ATB system that old Final Fantasy games and like Chrono Trigger had. So each character basically runs on their own timer and can make moves when it fills up or when when the character cools down. So it gives it a totally different flow from pretty much any other strategy game that I've personally played. As opposed to most of the time, it's either like turn-based or you decide all your actions like kind of as a group.
Yeah.
It gives it a more like, I don't know, it makes you feel like you're kind of more urgent as you're playing the game because the enemies do the same thing. So you're always.
I was going to say, it sounds like a more hectic kind of strategy game.
Yeah, it really can be. And especially as you get different enemy types and get like different archers and people who use different skills. And, but you do have the ability to slow down time at any point. So it's not like complete madness. You do have time to plot out your moves. But like the first thing I noticed about this game before I even played it, and when you sent the, you showed it to me, it's just, this game is just gorgeous. It has like, so every level is basically made to be in the style of a board game. You have like different tiles that you can move, that you can wage war upon. Imagine that. But yeah, everything is so just like lovingly crafted. I feel like it's like this really fine, like artisan board game that has each piece just like meticulously crafted out. All the characters look really beautiful, and the environments are just so colorful, and everything just pops, you know?
Yeah, even in screenshots, some of these are just stunning to look at.
Yeah. So that style and how it works with like the sort of strategy gameplay, it does get a little bit, it does sort of it makes it harder sometimes. I was going to try to say obfuscate, but that is clearly beyond my capability right now.
I don't fuck with words like that either. When words like that pop up in descriptions, I just cry to myself.
Yeah, but you have like, if you're in a forested area, sometimes like they put so much detail into the environment that it almost kind of like gets in the way of you being able to see what's going on sometimes. But
it's too good looking, goddamn it.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, they just did a really great job with the presentation, and I guess the only real complaint I have about it is like it does seem to be kind of like a little bit on the linear and sort of repetitive side. And you kind of like, before each mission, you already kind of know exactly what you're going to get from it. And it's kind of like, it kind of takes some of the mystery out of it, I guess. But the actual missions, the playing through the boards and stuff, I mean, I had a great time with it. And, and there's also a lot of variety, and each different environment that you're in has different obstacles and different things that affect your characters in different ways. So there is a lot to see within the world of Wartile for sure.
Nice. And I know you, looking just at the Steam page, I see you put a nice chunk of hours in there. So I got to know, $20 on this one. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it is. Like when you complete a mission, there are usually different objectives that you can take on. So there are different ways to come at each different map. And so it'll have a lot of replay value in that, even though, it'll have a lot of replay value. And I definitely had a fun time with it. For people who are into the strategy RPG genre and are okay with something being a little simple, even though it has like its own thing totally going on, I think it's definitely worth checking out.
Awesome. And how's the music in the game? Because I see on Steam they also have a soundtrack available for $5, or if you get them both, you could save $1. So how's the music in the game?
I enjoyed it. It's it's an orchestral soundtrack. It's nothing really popped out to me all that much, and I'm sorry to say that as a composer, and that's like the last thing I want to hear. But I enjoyed
that's why I have to ask you. You're a composer, so I got to pick your brain on that.
No, it totally fits the scenario, and the whole like Norse mythology thing. It goes perfectly with that, and it has the gravitas that kind of a setting deserves.
Nice. One more game that you're here to talk about. This should be a little quick one. Is called While You Are Downloading, developed and published by Alien Nude Limited. Released March 2nd on Steam for 99 cents, so it is a pricey one. A quick and action-packed retro-styled arcade shooter or shoot-'em-up, shmup if you like. Perfect to play in short chunks like when you're waiting for bigger games to download. So Tom, Did you play this while you were downloading games? First off, I need to know, did you play it the right way?
I did not. I failed at the very thing that the game's title. It's kind of a self-deprecating title. It's like, we know you're not actually going to want to play this for more than like 5 minutes.
So what is the game?
It says I didn't even play it on Steam, but I did, I swear. So it's sort of like an arena shooter. It's done sort of like in an asteroid style. It's very, very simple. You just have your ship. You can rotate it from left to right, pilot it around. You can get different weapon upgrades, and more of them unlock as you play the game. One thing I did really like about this game was the sound design. The soundtrack has this whole, a very like electronic, EDM thing going on, but then your shots are usually timed with the music. And as you get different upgrades, they're actually, they are timed to have like different, like cross rhythms with the music that's going on.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it is cool. And so even though like as simple of a game as it is, it has some cool ideas, and just like the whole like old school like synthwave style graphic style is, I don't know, it's fun.
Cool. So the whole music thing, you enjoyed that aspect as a composer?
Yeah.
Cool.
It's very simple, but it works.
Should point out this game is also in early access. They say that it might be in early access for a couple of months, depending on, how long things take. Apparently, it's just a one guy kind of thing who works on the game like 30 minutes before going to work every day.
Oh.
So this is a legitimate passion project.
Yeah, it's while you're getting ready for work.
I do enjoy this part. What is the current state of the early access version? Playable, fun, enjoyable, I hope. So for $1, what do you think of while you were downloading?
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's a fuck it, why not? And, especially if he's going to keep working on it and adding more stuff to it, I think, if you're just looking for something simple to, play for a few minutes, and it definitely fits the bill.
Sounds good. I think as soon as the game goes live on Steam, I'm going to grab it because it's only $1. So
yeah,
again, why not, right?
Exactly.
Why not? Oh, Tom, always good having you on chat. And any final thoughts to sum it all up?
Well, good luck with that 10 inches of snow, and yeah.
All right, and we are back to us. Next game to talk about is called Symmetry, developed by Sleepless Clinic, published by IMGN.PRO, IMGN.PRO.
I believe that's supposed to be like Imagine.PRO.
That would make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I always thought it was smart. Like Image.
Yeah,
your SMRT smart.
Yeah.
So yeah, Imagine.PRO. There, published by Imagine.PRO. Released February 20th on Steam and PlayStation 4, February 23rd on Xbox One, all for $17.99. A research spaceship reaches an abandoned planet. Nothing is what it seems here, and the situation quickly slips out of control. Can the crew manage to survive and get back home? Cole, did they?
Mine didn't.
You murderer.
Spoiler alert. Remember how we were talking about survival management for Kingdom Come?
Mm-hmm.
Here we are.
Nice.
That is all this is survival management.
Nice.
You have a space crew who has been sent to research this desolate planet, and their ship crashes when they get there. 3 members of the crew are at the research center, I guess, if you will, the space station that has landed, what's left of it, and the rest of the crew has gone missing. They are MIA. The crew members, when you start a new game, you are assigned 3 random crew members. They will be different every time. On top of that, their skill sets and what they're good for is also going to be different every time. So in a way, I guess it's a little bit like a roguelite. Starting to sense a theme here with the shit I play.
Yeah.
The entire purpose is to basically keep your crew alive If you do it long enough, their missing members might start to creep back in, or they might find them while they are out gathering materials. And you can try to keep everybody alive and as happy as possible when the temperature dips down to negative 66 degrees.
Like it's going to happen here in, the next day.
Yeah.
Hey, look, I'm making reference to something that was in the pre-recorded stuff because I'm trying to play with continuity. By the way, I mentioned that I'm getting fucking 10 inches of snow tomorrow, so...
Have fun with that. We're supposed to be like 48. We're going to be okay.
Yippee!
But
anyway,
we have a windstorm
Symmetry.
right now. So.
I love the visuals in Symmetry. This is an awesome looking game.
It is such a cool... I don't even know like a good way to describe the art style for this. It's very
bright.
Stylized. Huh? It's bright. It is bright. Because it's on like a snowy white-ass planet. And the temperature gets down to negative 66.
White ass. That would be immortal white ass instead of redneck. Immortal white ass.
Now we found their alternative name for when I decided to redneck. It's funny because there's a little weather station when it's not breaking. There's a little weather station there next to the space station, and when it gets that cold, like it just gives a little skull with lightning bolts coming out of it because basically they're gonna fucking die if they go outside. And yet at the same time, you have no choice but to send them outside because they need to collect wood to stay warm. How we got them to space and only can provide them a wood-burning furnace, I don't know. How they found a planet that gets down to negative 66 and still has trees, I don't know.
Yeah, seriously, what the fuck?
We're not asking these questions. We're just sending them out to die because they're going to freeze to death if I don't. So somebody's going to die anyway. And then when they die, you have to make the critical choice of, are you going to bury them like normal human beings? Or are you going to cannibalize the motherfucker and have them for lunch? That's what this game forces you to decide. Are you running low on food? Did little Julie kick the bucket over there? Well, now you're not low on food anymore, are you?
Now you got dinner. So I'm hearing a lot of good about this. Any negatives?
It's really fucking hard. Remember when I said the space station or when the weather station isn't broken?
Yeah.
Everything's broken all the time. The only way to fix stuff is to send out crew members to collect what's called electro waste. So basically it's like the shit that fell off of your spaceship and it's trash and you just throw it in this bin and it turns it into repair nodules. And you have to have so many of those repair nodules from the electro waste to fix literally anything. You're constantly sending people out to collect. Because remember when I said that every one of them starts with a certain set of traits and they can be improved upon or just as they are?
Yeah.
The way that it does that is on each person's little like status bar. There will be an icon for the task that they are capable of doing. So let's say you got a character named Anna, and Anna has food prep and electro waste collection. But let's say she's better at food prep than electro waste. Her little bar for electro waste is going to be like a fraction of a centimeter.
Oh, Lord.
And she can only carry maybe 2 pieces of electro waste at a time. Oh. Whereas, let's say her bar for food is full and she can produce 18 units of food. So obviously it's more effective to not send her out to die like a jackass.
Yeah.
Trying to collect electro waste when you could put her at the food station and she would prepare more. However, if you're really, really desperate to have people who can do things that are not their original skill sets, you can set them at the computer provided it is also not broken. And then they can improve their skills. They can just do some research and their bar will get larger. Or even if you want to have them just improve something that they're already relatively good at so that they could just kind of max that skill out. That's a good thing to do, but I never felt like I had time to do it because as soon as I would get done chopping wood, they'd be tired and dead. And they would be out of wood again. And you're just like, it's negative 66 degrees. Where are they supposed to find the time and energy to go get more wood?
I gotta say, I'm very happy that you covered this one because it sounds like I would have been miserable playing it.
I really did enjoy it. Is the funny thing. Like, I was just so stressed because it was incredibly hard. And I think it took maybe 5 or 6 runs just to get to a point where, like, I really had the patterns down for, keeping an eye on their overall health. And, like, okay, I can send them out to go get wood, but they immediately have to come back in and eat and spend some time in the rest chambers so that their health goes back up. Because if you send them back out again and their health is like at half, they have to go so far to get wood. They're just going to die before they get there.
Oh, God. So $18 on this one. What is your decision?
And I'm going to say, even though I really, really enjoyed it, I really like games like this. And it's kind of niche. And because of the difficulty, I'm only going to give it a really recommended try it because it's just not for everybody, especially at that kind of price point. And it can get a little monotonous because that's all you're doing is just fixing shit, trying to survive the whole time. That a lot of people might be kind of put off by it, especially since it's so hard.
Oh man, I'm like so mixed on this because it looks really cool and you're talking it up so much, but I just hear survival. I'm like, oh man. Like,
yeah, I don't. If the survival thing would put you off, you would be just like, you're gonna do 2 runs and be like, the fuck did I pay money for this for? And that would be a shame because it is really good, but it's just I'm consciously aware it's not for everybody.
I might still give it a shot. But next game to talk about is called Turok, developed and published by Night Dive Studios, released March 2nd on the Xbox One for $19.99. An evil overlord known as the Campaigner seeks to shred the fabric of time and rule the universe using an ancient artifact known as the Chronoscepter. Turok has vowed to find the 8 pieces of the Chronoscepter spread throughout the Lost Land and put an end to the Campaigner's evil plot. If you have ever played Turok the Dinosaur Hunter on the N64, you have played Turok, because this is it's not a remake, and it's kind of remastery of the original game. Like, this is so true to the original game that, like, everything, it still has the Acclaim startup logo. Remember Acclaim? Wow. That company? It still has the Acclaim and the Iguana Software logos at the startup. This is just straight up a prettier version of the N64 game, and whether you are going to like this game or not comes down to whether or not you've played the original Turok and whether you liked it, because I'll say right off the bat, a lot of the mechanics in this game didn't age that well. Save points in the game are fairly far apart. Well, first of all, it is a first-person shooter. You go through these larger open world style areas. They're fairly linear, but there's a lot of branching paths and hidden areas that you could go to. And you just gotta find all the keys and collect all the parts of the Chronoscepter and get through the game and kill the bad guy. It is very old school because this is a game from, what the fuck year did the original come? The 90s sometime? Turok. It's now I want to find out. No, that is the wrong one. Turok the Dinosaur Hunter. There we go. 97. So hey, 20-year anniversary, pretty much. 21-year anniversary. Yeah. You're going to be buying a 20-year-old game. It is very much the same game. There's minor differences. The visually it has gotten crisper and cleaner. When they re-released it on Steam, I think a couple years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, it got better textures and everything else, but it's still going to look like an N64 game for the most part. It's just going to look like a crisper, cleaner N64 game. Control wise, everything handles as well as it did back then. I didn't have any gripes with the controls. Things moved really fast, and I'm someone who has struggled with motion sickness in games.
Yeah.
I never remembered getting motion sick while playing Turok back in the day. And I was never good with first person shooters, but I was okay with Turok. There were a couple of times playing this version, I had to stop and crack a window and just, set it down for a little bit, which brings me to one of my big gripes in that it wasn't really upgraded much for current generation. Save points in the game are incredibly far apart, and when I'm starting to feel nauseous and queasy, there's no quick save. You can't just stop, save, and exit. Like, you have to find a save point. And if you're really, 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 really far from the last one you passed, you're just like, well, guess I'm moving forward until I find another one. It could be a half hour to an hour between them, depending on how quick you are.
You should just keep a puke bucket beside you.
Close. It got to the point where I would pause the game and, switch over to TV and watch something else or do something and hope that the game was still in the same spot when I went back. Cause sometimes it'll close the game down on you on Xbox for some reason. Overall though, it's still Turok. It's fun. If you enjoyed the original Turok, if you were into old school retro style N64 games, you're going to really dig this. If you have never played Turok before, you will quite likely hate it because it's just not as pretty as so many remasters can be these days. But it is authentic, and I think that's what they were going for. They weren't trying to do a complete remake of the game or remaster of the game. They were trying to be as authentic and just give us what we grew up and played. For $20, yeah, the nostalgia factor. $20, I think, is a smidge high, especially because the second one, which we'll cover on a future episode, is also $20. I think they should have done the both of them for $30. That would have been a lot better. I think $15 each. But I'm not their accountant. I don't know what they had. Maybe they bought a claim. Who knows? They bought a claim for $20, so they're charging $20 for a game. But yeah, based on the retro gamers who are going to love it and the newer gamers who will quite likely hate it, I got to go right in the middle. It's a try it. It is really, really fun, but it is really, really old and dated at the same time.
I remember playing Turok.
Yeah, it was fun. I still don't know why I got motion sick this time, but I didn't as a kid. Maybe I'm just getting old and my body's breaking
old
down.
Age, man.
Yeah. Hell yeah, motherfucker, getting old. Anyway, last thing to talk about today is called Little Nightmares: The Residence DLC. Developed by Tarsier Studios, published by Bandai Namco, released February 22nd for $3.99 on all platforms that Little Nightmares is on, or as part of the Complete Edition or the Expansion Pass. The runaway kid is not out of trouble yet as he enters the lady's private residence. Escaping the shadow enemies summoned by the lady and solving deadly puzzles will be the only way to survive the luxurious House of Dread. Armed only with his flashlight, the kid will have to repel the nightmarish illusions and dodge traps set in the twisted library. As he walks to meet his fate, the kid will shed light on the darkest secrets of the Maw. Cole, tell me about the conclusion to Little Nightmares.
I have more questions than answers. And it's a shame because, I when I play games for review and stuff, I like to go back and look for dev interviews and dev vlogs and kind of learn about their thought processes while they were making the game and stuff. And everything promoting this is like, oh, it's the answers to all your questions for the Little Nightmare series. No, it doesn't. It doesn't answer shit.
Nice.
That's not entirely true. It does answer some things, and I can't tell you anything about that because it's a huge spoiler. But there, and so it's interesting because it does answer that one question, but there's new enemies that are added, even though it's the end of the DLC chapters, and you're just kind of like, where the fuck did these things come from? Why are they here now? Where have they been this whole time? Even 6 didn't encounter these things. Why the fuck is the kid running into them now? And where were these the whole time? And thank God they weren't there the whole time because they're fucking annoying.
So let's go step by step. If no one knows what Little Nightmares is, what is the gameplay to this?
Little Nightmares is, I think I would call it more like an action platformer. There are some puzzle aspects, but the platforming is kind of a big deal in it as well. You experience, if you're playing the base game, you play as 6, and she is on a ship. I believe the ship is called the Maw. Look, it's been a while since I've had to play that part.
But basically, it's an action adventure platformer style game.
Yeah.
It's
horror. It is horror. Don't get me wrong. This is horror. It's called Little Nightmares for a reason.
But this is the third DLC pack, and it doesn't at all wrap up the questions that you've had through the game.
Unfortunately, no. I mean, I said, it does answer some things. One thing, let's find a good way to word this without giving away a spoiler is what I'm having trouble with here. If you play through the DLC, like I said, playing through the base game, you play as 6. Playing through the DLC, you play as the runaway kid who fans have taken to calling 7, although that's not his official name. And 6 and 7's stories, they kind of blend together, and you will see aspects of 6's story in 7's and vice versa. So even the way that you choose the chapters is you go to chapter select, you find 6's chapter, and then you scroll down and you get 7's edition, version of it, rendition. So there's a lot of tie-in between the two. And in some ways, 7 does answer some of the things that you wonder about with 6. But for every one question that gets answered, you get like 15 more questions right behind it. There's just so much going on, and everything is so odd and so quirky and so grotesque that it leaves you going, why is that a thing? Not in a bad way. But if you're playing through the DLC part, the first chapter will have the runaway kid take on an entity in the mall known as the Granny. The next one, he takes on the janitor, and we actually see the janitor in 6's story as well. So this is chapter 2 is kind of the biggest crossover between them both, 6 and 7. And then in chapter 3, you have another crossover with the lady, who is a big part of 6's story as well. Through all of that, we do get some answers on the gnomes, for example. The gnomes are a little NPC character that 6 is very partial to. She has to pick them up and hug them, and they help her solve puzzles. And 7 too will interact with them and kind of uncover some of their history and how they came to be on the Maw as well. Mm.
So how long is this last DLC of the game?
About 45 minutes.
So it's a short one.
And that's with I played through it, and then I went back with a guide to get a couple of the collectibles I had missed. Mm-hmm. And I still was right around 45 to 47 minutes for it.
So is it at least short and sweet?
I wouldn't. There is nothing sweet about Little Nightmares. Even 6, who seems all adorable.
I don't mean adorable sweet. I just mean like it was it was only 45 minutes, but it was a good 45 minutes.
It was definitely a good 45 minutes. Even though it didn't solve all the questions that I had like I really wanted it to, I still felt satisfied with the ending. And the ending, there's this huge just twist ending that you don't see coming, and it's a little gut-wrenching.
Well, that's what sequels are for.
Yeah, even with what you experience in Little Nightmares, this ending, it will kind of leave you just like your jaw will be on the floor and your heart will be right there beside of it.
So overall, Little Nightmares, let's treat this as the complete edition. For $30 for the entirety of Little Nightmares, the original game, all the DLC. What is your verdict?
Absolutely buy it. If you're a fan of horror type at all, and I feel weird when I call it horror because I tend to think of horror as survival horror anymore. Yeah. But this is not necessarily, you do gotta survive, but not survival horror. because that's where the puzzles and the platforming come into play more so than the survival aspect. But if you're into just like really quirky, odd kind of stories that will play with your head and are kind of grotesque and intriguing and different, you're really going to be into this, and it makes it a no-brainer.
Cool. Well, that is it for this episode. It has been way too long of a show, so I'm not going to fuck around with an ending. Thanks for listening, and we will catch you next time. Enjoy the music.
heel. And the swing of guitar strings is about the only thing I feel. And if it was second chances, I don't know which way I would choose. Oh, yeah, the thing about down is I need this soul sucker blues.